link up, hey. You just hit my line for the wind down. There's only one thing on my mind when you come around me. I get lost in where you found me. Want you to use me. You let her confuse me. Don't wanna hide the fact that you make me feel that way. Want you to give me play. I see it in your eyes, you're lonely. Come put that body on me. I hit it right, I will. I treat you right, I will. Trust me, I got you, baby. Know how to make you feel. They can't do you like I will. Nobody do you like I will. I hit it right, I will. I treat you right, I will. Trust me, I got you, baby. Know how to make you feel. They can't do you like I will. They can't do you like I will. Like I will.
I treat you right, I will.
I treat you right, I will.
Trust me, I got you, baby. Know how to make you feel. I treat you right, I will.
I treat you right, I will.
Trust me, I got you, baby. Know how to make you feel.
I hit it right, I will. I treat you right, I will. Trust me, I got you, baby. Know how to make you feel. I hit it right, I will. I treat you right, I will. They can't do you like I will. Like I will. Pick up the phone, little baby. You got me up and I'm wavy. You know I want you to myself. You know you've been driving me crazy. Looking me right in the eye and tell me it's mine. If not, I'ma make it that way. You know I want you in a major way. I bless that body, make you share your grace. I've been trying to get you face to face. Fall through and give you ways to waste. I do what it takes. I make them walls sing on your heartstrings. Say your heart.
I treat you right, I will.
Trust me, I got you, baby.
Know how to make you feel. I treat you right, I will.
I hit it right, I will.
Trust me, I got you, baby.
Know how to make you feel. Trust me, I got you, baby.
I treat you right, I will. Trust me, I got you, baby.
Know how to make you feel.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right, so shout out to everybody who is in the building. Hopefully you guys are doing good. If you guys can hear me okay, please give me a thumbs up or a radiation emoji in the chat. If you guys cannot hear me, please give me a thumbs down or an angry face. And while you guys are doing that, I'm going to shout out everybody who's in the building early, all right? Shout out to my man DSB. Make sure y'all show DSB some love off rip, standing on business, being a member for 9 months. Man, the membership family is growing. The membership cartel getting crazy out here. Make sure if y'all enjoy the channel, y'all don't have to worry about going to Rumble to check out any of the replays if they yellow dollar sign. The membership is only 99 cents. It definitely helps. Help us, you know what I'm saying? Like they say, move more units. So make sure y'all show DSB some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for my man DSB standing on business for 9 months.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Definitely appreciate it, bro. And DSB showing love. We got DSB with the off-rip ducats. Throw some more money bags. Throw some more ducks. Throw some more flames in the chat for my man DSB. Funding the organization. Definitely appreciate it, bro.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Queen, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
Definitely appreciate it. We got Atalia in the building. It's been a minute. Good to see you. Hopefully you be back. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Atalia. Make sure y'all show Atalia some love. A OG, you know what I'm saying? Part of the channel. Definitely good to see you. Shout out to my man DC Precise. That's right. I treat you right. I will. I treat you right. I will. You already know we had to bring it back. You know what I'm saying? We had to bring it back. Shout out to my man Rick Guillory. Good to see you over here, bro. Shout out to DSB with some more off-rip ducats. Definitely appreciate it. Make sure y'all show DSB some love because y'all already know without, you know what I'm saying, the super chats, without the Patreons, without the members, this is impossible. So show him some love.
This is the hardest record out.
People around.
I'm rich, bitch.
Definitely appreciate it, bro. So if you guys have not smashed that like button yet, take a moment, smash that like button. If you guys have not shared the stream, take a moment, share the stream. If you're not following on Rumble or Twitch, or you're not part of the Discord, make sure y'all take care of that so that y'all don't miss any notifications, and so that if a video is yellow $sign, you have no problems watching the replay. All right. We're going to talk about the migrant crisis, and we're going to talk about it in terms of the election. Migrant crisis has not done anything. The direction that it's gone in is getting worse, not better. Kamala Harris has picked her VP, who is a pro-immigration, anti-wall candidate. I know that means a lot to a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Atalia for being a like enforcer. Make sure y'all throw them like enforcers in the chat, and absolutely, please hit that like, please share, please subscribe, all the above. You know what I'm saying? And it's getting pretty bad out here on the migrant front. Now, the thing that's interesting about it is that the migrant crisis, for the most part, has fallen out of the news cycle. But that doesn't mean that the migrant crisis news is not still coming. All right. Shout out to the people that's hashtag Couch22. Shout out to the people that are voting for a reason, regardless if you found some reason to vote for Kamala Harris, you know what I'm saying? Or if you found a reason to vote for Trump, shout out to you. To the people who are on the couch, my question for you guys is, with the migrant crisis getting worse and worse, is the migrant crisis deterioration enough to get people to consider getting off the couch? All right, that's the question. We're going to go through all of this content, and at the end of the video, we're going to answer that question. Shout out to my man DSB. My man DSB said, Couch 2024 for me. All right, so y'all know what to do. If you voting Kamala Harris, throw them thumbs up in the chat. If you voting Trump, throw the American flag in the chat. If you Couch 2024, throw the couch in the chat. Shout out to my man Michael R. What's good with it, bro? All right, let's get it.
The San Antonio mother charged in the death of her 5-year-old son learns her fate in court. Today, Nicole Aguilar was sentenced to 15 years in prison. She pleaded guilty to a charge of injury to a child, serious bodily injury by omission, in the death of her son, Dominique Aguilar Acevedo. Aguilar's then boyfriend, Daniel Garcia, was found guilty of abusing the boy, which led to Dominique's death at a San Antonio hotel in July of 2021. Aguilar and Garcia drove to Colorado, where they disposed of the boy's body before fleeing the country. As part of—
So you guys see that? So they clearly had some contacts, right? Shout out to DJ Elmo. Shout out to Kiko. What's good with you, bro? They clearly had some contacts. Now, the thing is we're going to be going through a lot of stories like this. People going back and forth and, you know what I'm saying, doing weird stuff. Not cool. Not cool. Let me ask you guys a question. If Harris and Walz are elected for 4 more years, what do you think this situation will look like? Would there be more situations like this to talk about, or will there be less? Now, what about Trump? That's my question. Shout out to my man, John Guillory. What's good with it, bro?
Of her plea deal, Aguilar testified against Garcia.
Oh man, so she flipped on her boyfriend. She threw everything on the boyfriend.
He was found guilty and is set to be sentenced on August 14th.
Man, oh man. Now let me ask you guys this question. Is it really safe to have people able to go back and forth like that? Shout out to AW1. What's good with it, bro? And I agree. If you guys agree with AW1, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, then give me a thumbs down. Now, I think I talked about this before, but we're going to talk about it again simply because I don't think that it got talked about enough. But there's a lot of violent crime that occurs when it comes to these migrants. And the problem with this is that these crimes are not reported in the same way that domestic crimes are reported. Another thing is there's built-in protections that kind of shield these people from law enforcement having access to them to be able to do what's necessary. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. We're going to take a look at this case right here. How many people remember this case right here? If you guys remember this, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't remember, give me a thumbs down. And if you don't remember, don't worry, because you're about to get caught. There you go. Now you see, this is the problem. Now, we're going to run it back. And what I want people to do is, as we go through these, we're going to ask the question, how many of these people are coming and going illegally? Now, what's fascinating about this is that I don't know when these people come into the country, I'm pretty sure that they don't have a passport. Another question is if they're here illegally, right? And then they leave, right? And they're undetected when they come and they go, then that just means that they've been able to leave out of a U.S. border or out of a port without a passport. So they can come into the country easier than American citizens, and they can leave easier than American citizens. Let me ask you guys a question. Does that present a situation that is safe? If that presents a safe situation, give me a thumbs up. If it does not present a safe situation, then give me a thumbs down. American citizens are not safe because of failed immigration policies. Now, with that being said, the current administration, how would this look going forward, 2024? Let me know what you guys think. And shout out to everybody that's watching. I really appreciate you guys. If you all have not smashed that like button yet, please take a moment, smash that like button. We got 17 people watching and 14 likes. Let's try to get the likes to 31. All right. If you guys haven't shared the stream, wherever you watch it from, please take a moment, share the stream. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that bell and subscribe to the channel. 10%. Shout out to Hurricane. What's good with it, bro? I agree with you 110%. If you guys agree with Mike that the CIA knows everything that's going on, they just kind of act like they don't to kind of play along with the narrative, then give me a thumbs up. If you guys do not think that this is the case and you guys think that the CIA is truly indeed uninformed, then give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Michael. Michael says that new Trende Agra gang. All right. Now, I don't know, like I said, the channel members are able to watch all of the videos. Make sure that you guys check out the very old video from like last year that I did about Trende Agua. All right. Now, the thing is that Trende Agua is a Venezuelan gang, right? These guys here are from El Salvador. Now, we know that there's a point somewhere in Florida and a point somewhere in New York where Trende Agua and MS-13 started linking up and working together. But it would be my initial assumption that if there was a gang that this particular individual had a tie to, more than likely it probably be MS-13. Probably be MS-13. You know what I'm saying? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Shatera. Good to see you. Shout out to my man, Tori and Rain. Good to see you. Now, you got to ask, if these crimes are happening like this, what's up with the mainstream media? Why do you guys think that the mainstream media is not reporting on this? Shout out to Tori. I think they said this was in Hartford, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Hartford County. Shout out to Kirk. What's good with it, bro?
Police say a 17-year-old migrant who they say was an MS-13 gang member killed 20-year-old Kayla Hamilton. Fox 45 News spoke to her mother just.
There you go. So this next one that they're talking about, this was an MS-13 gang member. Now, the thing that's crazy about this is that a lot of these people come to the United States with these ties already. They come here with ties to these gangs already. And then they get here and then they link up with existing gang members that's already here, which just makes it worse. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. We shout out to Kurt. We definitely going to get into it. Kurt says it's the hood over there, FYI. Illegal immigrants, trafficking, and everything all over there. Yeah. Yeah. Big facts, bro.
18-year-old.
And that's so for one, with the backgrounds that they come here with, that makes them dangerous, right? That's the first layer, right? Then the second layer is that when they get here, they got all these protections because they're getting treated better than everybody else. It makes it really hard to be able to create consequences for any of these people acting ridiculous, or create consequences for them entering the country illegal, to the point where it's almost like they're untouchable. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like they're
in the Dominican Republic.
So now, again, you guys see the pattern? Now, check this out. Here's the issue, right? This is what it sounded like on the local news, right? Why is it that the local news reports have such a easily noticeable contrast to the national news reports? If you listen to the national news reports will have you thinking that none of this stuff is a problem, and that anybody that talks about this stuff is simply being overly dramatic and blowing things out of proportion. Let me ask you guys this question. Is the local news blowing things out of proportion? Yeah, that's exactly what I would say. And people that are, the political people and people that are talking to these politicians, I would ask them, what are they going to do to stop allowing the United States to be used as a dump? Yeah. Shout out to Shatera. Shatera says, so they're using the U.S., using us as a dump. Yeah. If you guys agree that that's what's going on, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree and you don't think that's what's going on and something else is happening, let us know what you think.
Icefield.
How can you do that if you're not allowed to arrest people at all, to charge them? So, like, I want you guys to see, do you see the immediate workaround? Shout out to Unsunken One. What's good with it, bro? Do you guys see the immediate workaround? So how are you supposed to do any of that? Like, you're only allowed to be compliant with ICE if somebody has been arrested and convicted of a crime. But because of the sanctuary city restrictions, you're not even allowed to arrest them to be able to convict him of a crime. You guys see how that's a trap? I want y'all to pay close attention. Think what she just said out in logical order and ask yourself, how can you do that? Why don't they call it undocumented on undocumented crime? We got to stop right there. Think about it, right? Think about that. Now we got to start asking that question. And we also should just start repeating, well, if they really care about crime, then what they would do is, change some of these policies to, decrease the undocumented on undocumented crime. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Alpha Male Pimp Network. What's good with it, bro? All right, so there's that. You know what I'm saying? Just more questions. More and more questions. Now, how many people heard about that undocumented individual that shot that police officer? I believe it was in Texas. If I'm not mistaken, it was in San Antonio. If you guys heard about that, give me that thumbs up. If you guys did not hear about that, then give me that thumbs down. And shout out to everybody that's in the building. Shout out to David Brown. Shout out to Karen Dorsey. If y'all haven't hit that like button yet, take a moment, hit that like button. All right. Also, if you guys haven't shared, please share. If you're not subscribed, hit that bell icon twice. If you're not part of the Discord, we need you in the Discord. Hit that Discord link. If it don't work, one of the mods would be glad to put a new one in. Just say something in the comment section.
San Antonio police officer is recovering tonight after being shot multiple times while responding to a family violence call on the north side. The News 4 I-Team's Mariah Medina,
We got to keep people on this stuff, bro. We got to keep them on it. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all show Torian some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Torian, for also keeping people informed of the migrant crisis. Go make sure that y'all check out the Migrant Madness streams that he do. What number are you on by now, bro? Do you still number them, or is it so many now you just like, man, I ain't even numbering it no more? Because that's what I had started out with these. Because at first I didn't even have the undocumented bros. I just had, I just used to do it and I put it in an immigration playlist. And then I was like, let me put a little theme behind it so that it's, a little bit more people want to kind of follow it. You know what I'm saying? So then we made it to undocumented bros. I think I got to like 10 and I was like, man, I ain't numbering this no more. It's too doggone much. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Alonda. What's good with it, Alonda? So, yo, make sure if y'all not following Torian's channel, make sure y'all go check him out so y'all can go check out them the migrant Yo, what's up, y'all? My bad. Yo, if you guys can hear me, give me a thumbs up. If you guys can't hear me, give me a thumbs down. We got some weather issues going on, and the electricity keeps going in and out. So my bad. I'm about to get this back up here for y'all real quick. Hold on. Let's see. Lord have mercy. All right, hold on. Hey, the best thing in the world. The best thing in the world is when you don't expect any noise or anything like that, and you got your earbuds on, and they turned all the way up, and you have no idea that they turned all the way up, and then the sound just starts blasting in your ears. Like, I can't tell you how, like, that's like the best thing. You know what I'm saying? All right, hold on real quick. I'm gonna get this back together real quick. All right. All right, we should be good. Shout out to David Brown. What's good with it, bro? All right, how long was I gone for? Somebody let me know in the chat how long I was gone for. All right, let's get it.
San Antonio police officer is recovering tonight after being shot multiple times while responding to a family violence call on the north side. The News 4 I-Team's Mariah Medina, has been looking into this all day. She joins us now with the shocking details of the suspect.
The man who fired a rifle at a San Antonio police officer early this morning was in the country illegally. Federal and local law enforcement sources tell me that man hasn't been identified officially by the medical examiner, but the independent sources shared his name and this photo with us. This is 25-year-old Jorge Chacon Gutierrez, the man law enforcement sources say shot and critically injured an officer responding to an assault call around 3 this morning. Records reviewed by the I-Team show Chacon Gutierrez was apprehended by border authorities in Eagle Pass in November of 2023 for being unlawfully present in the United States and was given a notice to appear at a later date before he was released from federal custody without any conditions of bond or release. We went by the apartment off of Patricia Drive where police say this all unfolded and found numerous bullet holes in the glass of a second-story window. Police say Chacon Gutierrez was laying in bed with a rifle and when...
Yeah, shout out to Black Alpha Network, man. Tell him I said I appreciate it. That's what's good. That's what's good. He going in. He live going in on old Roly Poly, ain't he? That's hilarious, man. That's hilarious. Roly Poly need to be going in on. You know what I'm saying? He's a clown. Oh man, yeah. Illegally. Imagine that. Imagine that. You know what I'm saying?
Officers went to the apartment where the family violence assault occurred. He opened fire on them. Officers returned fire while retreating, and the department's SWAT unit and tactical resources were deployed to get Chacon Gutierrez to surrender. But around 8 a.m., officers went in and discovered he was deceased, though too early to determine if by the officer's gunfire or his own, police say. Neighbors recounted the massive law enforcement presence, including Manuel Perez, who says he lives across the hall from the gunman. Perez says he saw police.
Yo, look at this. You see my dude with the Gucci hat on? I don't know if this is fake Gucci or not, but first and foremost, how you know about some fake Gucci? If this ain't a fake Gucci hat, like if this hat is not fake and that's actual Gucci, how much do that hat cost? I'm not kidding. If that's not a fake Gucci hat, if that's a real Gucci hat, that hat probably at the least costs like $2,000. Where are you getting all that? Where are you getting the money from? You know what I'm saying? Where are they getting the money from? And real quick, shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate y'all. If y'all haven't smashed that like button yet, take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit that bell, take a moment, hit that bell. You said Moochie. Moochie, yeah, at the very least, $1,200 if it's real, but I don't know if it's real or not. I ain't accustomed to the Gucci life like that, where I just be surrounded by authentic Gucci, where I could just look at it and be like, man, this ain't real. Like, I ain't got it like that. I ain't even about to front.
He lives across the hall from the gunman. Perez says he saw police show up, and when shots rang out, he saw officers pulling the officer hit by Chacon Gutierrez's rifle rounds to safety. He says it was an evening from hell as law enforcement deployed all sorts of resources and used a loudspeaker to call him out of the apartment for several hours before they finally entered and found him deceased. Perez says he has never had any problems with the neighbor. It's unclear to whom the rifle belonged and what screening was done before Chacon Gutierrez was released from custody on immigration charges, but we will continue to ask those questions.
Why was he released? Like, let me ask y'all this. Is there I need y'all to let me know this. Let me know this in the comment section. Is there a pattern with this? And we've been asking this since the beginning, since we've been talking about these. Shout out to the people that always watch the Undocumented Bros. Y'all already know when you watch the videos all the way through to the end, I'm going to put the cards in it so y'all could check up on older episodes and see how long we've been talking about this and see how consistent the stuff has been. Is there a pattern? What's the pattern with this? Now, here's the thing, right? For the people that are voting, right? My advice to you would be pay attention to the pattern. If you do plan to vote, if you're not a Couch 2024 person, if you do plan to vote, vote for the candidate that has policies that address these patterns that we see. That makes sense, doesn't it? If that makes sense, give me a thumbs up. If it doesn't make sense, give me a thumbs down.
Edis says he has never had any problems with the neighbor. It's unclear to whom the rifle belonged and what screening was done before Chacon Gutierrez was released from custody on immigration charges, but we will continue to ask those questions. And at last check, the officer who was shot multiple times underwent surgery this morning. She is expected to be okay. For the News 4 I-Team, I'm Mariah Medina.
All right, so there's that. Mariah Medina. You might check her paperwork. You know what I'm saying? Might check in. Hey, wait, you know what I'm saying? When you when you got hired, did you fill out an I-9 or not? You know what I'm saying? So we talked about this in them folks over there, right? But we're gonna talk about this again very briefly because this is a situation that also involves somebody going back and forth. This is dumb. This is another just completely ridiculous situation. This is about an individual who committed a deletion, and I believe this deletion took place in Cincinnati, Ohio, in the Natty, right? What ended up happening is that this individual was able to successfully make it back to Mexico. When he got back to Mexico, take a wild guess what he was doing. Spoiler alert. I'm gonna let y'all watch. Oh, also spoiler alert is right up here on the screen.
Men were shot near UC's campus this morning. Police say they responded to the 2800 block of Short Vine around 8:30 a.m. One victim was found with non-life-threatening injuries at the scene and was taken to UC Medical. The second victim took his or herself to the hospital and is also facing non-life-threatening injuries. That incident is still under investigation.
Justice is going to be served. I don't care if it takes 20 years.
That's the investigator for the Butler County Prosecutor's Office who helped track down this guy, one of Butler County's most wanted, Antonio Reno. He is
now this dude name is Antonio Reno, right? He's Antonio Reno, and he's one of they said Butler's most wanted. Pay attention to his story.
He's accused of killing someone outside of a bar in Hamilton in 2004. Investigators and the U.S. Marshals tracked him down to Mexico, where he was serving as a police officer. Of all things, Ken Brown spoke to...
So he just had a change of heart. He went from deleting people when he was in the United States with them teeth that's all crooked, all the teeth look like they all scattering and running away from gunshots, to working as a police officer. Unbelievable.
As a police officer. Of all things, Ken Brown spoke to prosecutors who tried to track him down. He's live outside of Hamilton Police Department. Of all things he could be, Ken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and right now he's actually on his way from CV.
Facts. He got tombstone teeth. His gums look like a cemetery. That's crazy. Facts.
Back here to Butler County to be questioned by police. It's the U.S. Marshals and the Butler County Prosecutor's Office who's helping to transport him back up here. This took years of searching for him, even more years of paperwork as well to try and get him back here. And now that's happened, and he's going to soon be back here in Butler County in handcuffs. The crime scene tape has long been taken down at the corner of East Avenue and Long Street, just blocks from the Butler County Sheriff's Office. But in 2004, this was the spot where investigators found Benjamin Becerra dead. He was shot in the face, and investigators say the man behind the trigger was Antonio Reno.
He was on the most wanted poster here in Butler County for the better part of 2 decades. I mean, he's had an outstanding warrant. I mean, he's had red notices from international Interpol. He's had,
I mean, this dude was on the Interpol list. He had notices by Interpol, which means that for the most part, he was wanted internationally. Why is he allowed to just go through freely, moving back and forth in the United States as he pleases? Like, somebody make that make sense. Seriously, make that make sense.
U.S. Marshals will look for him.
The prosecutor's office tells us a dispute in the bar led to the shooting outside. Surveillance cameras on the building captured the ordeal, and in the days that followed, police identified Riano as the suspect and found the murder weapon hidden inside his apartment. They say the only issue was Riano had fled the country and went into hiding. That was 20 years ago.
It's all about catching the bad guy, and tracking him down, because I think he thought he was home free. And that's what gives you the resolution of like, poke your head up, I got you.
Once the prosecutor's office located Riano, they spent several years filing paperwork with federal authorities to get him back to Hamilton to face charges.
Working on a case for 6 to 7 years, having to file an affidavit, having to, file a lot of paperwork, having to have witnesses sign affidavits. There certainly was a lot of work that was done in this case in order to get us to this point.
When U.S. Marshals found Riano, he was working at a police department in Mexico.
Shocking. The word is shocking. I couldn't believe it. I looked at the photograph. I was like, he's a police officer, in a small town in Mexico.
Antonio Riano is now 72 years old. You saw a video of him being loaded into a police cruiser at CVG Airport. They are currently in transit from CVG back up here to Butler County. We're going to continue to follow this story and follow his court case that will now start with an arraignment at a date to be determined. Reporting live in Hamilton, Ken Brown, Fox 19.
That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for real. If that right there is not just complete evidence of how ridiculous this is, I don't know what is. The more that you watch this stuff and the more of these situations that you see, it's just like it can't get more ridiculous. But then what ends up happening is the next day comes and you start watching YouTube and then you see a story that's even more ridiculous. Here, a federal officer's leg was amputated after being dragged by a car at a Fort Worth job site. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Who do you think was in the car dragging this officer?
Federal police officer had part of his leg amputated after he was attacked on the job in Fort Worth. Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes.
I'm Steve Eager. It's 9 o'clock. Court documents obtained by Fox 4 today outline what happened at the Bureau of Engraving and Printing offices earlier this month. Federal investigators say 26-year-old Julissa Aguilar worked at the building and set off the fire alarm.
Now, look at that. What kind of job you think she had at the building? Where's her neck? What kind of job you think she had at the building? And where's her neck? She has one of those, what you call a feck, is when your face goes right into your neck. Like there's no separation between your face and your neck. Like your whole head and neck is just all one unit. It's like your head is on a swivel. She got that type of she like Roland Martin, you know what I'm saying? Like the actual representative for Head and Shoulders. Why? Because there's no neck. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Kurt. Make sure y'all show Kurt some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for my man Kurt for funding the organization.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Queen, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
Kurt said, why he look like the taco stand, man? They be OGs. Yeah, they be OGs, and sometimes you can't tell if it's a he or a she. Oh, man. She look like one of them people that work under the cars and don't use no gloves. You know what I'm saying? Her fingers, it don't matter how many times. It don't matter if she used that orange soap. You know what I'm saying? You know that orange soap with like the grain in it? It don't matter if she used none of that or anything. Like her hands just stay black. Like it's no circulation to her fingertips, but actually it's like brake fluid and engine oil. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Kurt again. Make sure y'all show Kurt some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Kurt.
This
is the hardest record out.
Get the money, y'all. There's poor people around.
I'm rich, bitch.
Kurt said $2 for the bus driver / cafeteria lady. She an OG too, bro. Could you imagine her with one of them plastic hair nets on her head or whatever, a plastic bonnet for the kitchen? She'll put that slop on your plate and stare you down and dare you to be like, what is this? Them old lunch ladies, man. I don't know what it is about lunch ladies, especially like in high school or middle school, but they be extra intimidating and extra masculine. Like they always look like a woman that used to play safety on an NFL team. Just wild.
Before dragging the officer with her car in the parking lot. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager has more on the injured officer's condition. Peyton.
Steve, and those court documents revealed that the suspect sent her boss concerning text messages and emails that day. Investigators say the suspect was uncooperative to police and also to other employees. Meanwhile, the family of Joe Locke is just thankful he's alive.
According to a public GoFundMe page, veteran police officer Joe Locke is recovering in a Fort Worth hospital after his right leg was amputated. The Federal Bureau of Engraving and Printing officer was critically injured while on the job at the Bureau's Fort Worth location off Blue Mound Road. FBI investigators say Julissa Aguilar dragged and pinned Locke with her vehicle in the Bureau's parking lot earlier.
Look at that. Just take a moment and look at that. Don't be sending. No, don't do that. Don't send nobody like this over here. Can I want to make an official statement on this. Please don't do this. Don't send nobody like this over here. Don't send nobody like this over here. Shout out to Jay. Jay says she looked like she ain't never missed a meal. Yeah, we had the square. Oh yeah, we had the square pizza, bro. It had like little perforations in the bottom of it. She looked like she should be collecting the money outside the front of a club. And she one of them type of people, you could look at her and tell she's always profusely sweating. It could be like 0 degrees outside, and she's the type of person that comes outside in shorts and flip-flops and a short sleeve shirt, because you could tell her body generate crazy heat. Her body generates a ridiculous amount of heat. You know what I'm saying? Like you could put her in a car and use her as just as a human defogger, because if it's all kind of snow outside and you know what I'm saying, you got frost on the windows or whatever, just put her big hot breath self in the car and she gonna melt everything in the car like in 5 minutes with her just sitting there. You know what I'm saying? Hurricane said, I don't believe she's 26. She's had a oh man. She's had a rough, strenuous 26 years. Good Lord.
Here this month, Aguilar was initially arrested by Fort Worth police and booked into the Tarrant County Jail, but the case is now at the federal level. According to an arrest warrant affidavit Fox 4 obtained on Wednesday, a supervisor at the facility said on July 18th, Aguilar, who works below him, became erratic following a meeting about her performance. The supervisor told investigators he wasn't going to fire Aguilar, but he did offer her the day off since she stated her diabetes medication had been making her feel off. And
oh, wait. Ooh, see? She was probably, man.
Since she stated her diabetes medication had been making her feel off and a bit paranoid. After that meeting, investigators say Aguilar pulled the fire alarm.
See, there was a lot going on here. I bet you she got up and slammed her hand on that table and looked over that table and was like 2 inches away from her supervisor's face. And she said, I feel like my blood sugar is low. I bet you he was horrified. Because I guarantee you she probably bigger than her supervisor significantly. Sometimes there's giant women out there. Like she looked like Andrea the Giant. You know what I'm saying? He probably ain't know what to do. He probably thought today is a weird day. It's already starting out strange. I want to go home. Now I got this big linebacker size behemoth breathing down my back. I don't know if I'm gonna make it, man. I don't know if I'm about to make it or not. He probably wish he had one of them safety buttons under his desk that he could call and the security of the police just come in or something. But shout out to Tony. She said she probably was hungry. She said the diabetes medicine wasn't working. So she probably was hungry and hypoglycemic. I bet you she had the worst attitude for a 100-mile radius at that moment.
For her the day off since she stated her diabetes medication had been making her feel off and a bit paranoid. After that meeting, investigators say Aguilar pulled the fire alarm and left the building because she felt, quote, unsafe. Outside surveillance cameras showed Officer Locke talking to Aguilar while she was sitting in her vehicle. That's when Aguilar reversed her vehicle, dragging Officer Locke by the driver's side door, and then pinned Officer Locke between two vehicles. Locke's family declined an on-camera interview with Fox 4 Wednesday since the FBI is still investigating. But according to their fundraising page, while Locke was lying on the concrete losing blood, he was able to radio a description of the suspect's vehicle.
And Stephen and Heather, just about 30 minutes ago, I just got off the phone with the Texas State Lodge Fraternal Order of Police President Clint McNear. He tells me a little bit more about Joe Locke. They say that he's 58 years old and he has spent 33 years in law enforcement. McNear went on to tell me that Locke is in great physical shape, and that's what doctors say likely saved his life. Locke still has multiple surgeries planned. As for Aguilar, a federal judge ordered for her to be examined to see if she is competent to stand trial.
Yeah, she's definitely competent to stand trial. Like, I don't understand that. If you're competent to commit a crime, you should be competent to, like, you shouldn't even have a choice. Like, it shouldn't even matter. We're not even going to ask you none of that. You know what I'm saying? We're not even going to ask you none of that. So we're going to take a look. I think this is the same. Yeah, this is the same situation. This is from that lady that got deleted in Maryland. It's just a different news report. A Fox News report, so we're gonna see what they talking about in regards to that. Let's see.
Right, an arrest has finally been made in the tragic murder of Maryland mom of 5, Rachel Morin, 10 months after her body was found naked.
Shout out to DeAndre. What's good with it, bro?
On a remote hiking trail.
All right, so they stripped this woman down, had her naked. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they found the body. I mean, this is, you know what I'm saying? Like they're doing a lot. You know what I'm saying? Who had that song, Jay, that was called Everything Big? What did the Big Timers? Big car, big house, big car, something like that. That's how she that's how she was.
All right, an arrest has finally been made in the tragic murder of Maryland mom of 5, Rachel Morin, 10 months after her body was found naked and beaten on a remote hiking trail.
I just want to take this time to thank all of the law enforcement for all their hard work. They really did care about our family and my daughter, that they were going to work diligently to find the person that murdered her. And it's because of that that we have an arrest today.
Police arrested Victor Martinez Hernandez, a migrant who entered the country illegally in February 2023.
See, there you go. Again, we see these patterns. So I'm going to ask y'all again, when it comes to this particular situation here, what pattern do y'all see? Do y'all see a pattern with this? Now, we got to ask this question also. What policies or what politicians have policies that encourage or support or facilitate this kind of situation? You know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all think.
After reportedly murdering a young woman in El Salvador. Randolph Rice is the attorney for Rachel Morin's family, and he joins me now. Randolph, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. We just heard from Rachel's mom there. How is the family doing, being left with so many questions for so long, finally getting answers, but ones that are very difficult to hear?
Yeah, I mean, right now they're just incredibly relieved that they caught this man. One, because obviously that they can maybe move on or at least get to the process of the legal process in court. And secondly, that they know that he's not out there causing harm to their family or to anybody else in the country.
Yeah, I got to agree with Curly Girl. Curly Girl says under the Biden-Harris administration. Yeah, facts. If you guys agree with Curly Girl, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Yeah, absolutely.
It's also obviously a moment of happiness, I guess, in a 10-month tragic period of time in their life. While it's a little bit of happiness they've brought, they're still obviously very sad that they've lost Rachel. Catching him obviously does not bring Rachel back, but really unfortunate.
Well, this suspect is accused of murdering a young woman in El Salvador before coming to the United States illegally in 2023, and then brutally beating a 9-year-old girl and her mother during a home invasion in Los.
I mean, they beat a 9-year-old girl and a mom. Like that's, I mean, like this is what, like they be doing a lot of extra stuff. They do a lot of extra stuff that in many cases you don't even see like the criminals in the United States do. Now, some people do go to the some people do go to another extent that shouldn't be gone to, but you know what I'm saying? They do it more than even them, it seemed like. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Patrick. What's good with you, bro? It seemed like they do it even more than them.
Los Angeles before ultimately murdering Rachel. And during the press conference following this man's arrest, Hartford County Sheriff Jeffrey Gallagher had this to say. Listen here.
And I want to now direct these comments to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and to every member in both chambers of Congress. We are 1,800 miles away.
Anytime they talk about this or anytime they say, well, somebody is left here, you know what I'm saying, came to this country to escape dealing with crimes that they had committed in other countries. I got to ask y'all, man, how many of these people do you all think are here under the same circumstance? We really don't have any way of knowing, right? We can assume, we can make assumptions, but we really don't have any way of definitively knowing. And the reason why is because they make sure that none of these people have any documents. And if they don't have any documents, how are you supposed to be able to find out or know it? And on top of it, they make it so that law enforcement is not compliant with it. So law enforcement is not really going to be doing any type of investigation. You know what I'm saying?
So what sort of legal action is the family planning on taking?
Yeah.
And does the fact that the suspect...
Facts. And honestly, to me, they should get punished for that. Because if the media allegedly is supposed to be like they're helping, making people more informed, making people safe, if CNN or BS-NBC or CBS or ABC is purposely omitting these kind of stories from their programming, they're not adequately informing Americans with information that's necessary for them to be able to go out and have a safe day. Would you guys agree? Like, if you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, then give me a thumbs down. They should have to talk about that. To find out about anything going on with migrants, you either have to watch a conservative channel or you have to watch the local news. And depending on who is the affiliate and who owns the local news, whoever is the affiliate, they might even tell the local news, like, yo, y'all don't be reporting on this stuff all like that. Like, y'all got to calm down. You know what I'm saying?
The fact that the suspect is an illegal immigrant, does that factor in?
Well, the family really hasn't even processed that portion of this right now. They're really trying to take in the fact that they have caught the man and that there's the next phases of this process. But the sheriff's right there. This is not a Democrat or Republican problem. This is an American problem. And you would think that the Border Patrol would be able to stop people and say, hey, are you wanted for murder back in your country? If so, you can't come in here. So that's certainly a big problem. And Maryland is a long way from the southern border. So clearly it's not something just affecting the southern states. It is making its way all the way up to Maryland and Hartford County, which is a very rural and small county. It can happen anywhere in America. It's something that Washington really has to fix.
May 20th was Rachel's 38th birthday, and that was the very day investigators uncovered the lead that led to the arrest of the suspect who murdered Rachel. That is an incredible detail.
It is, and we don't know yet what that lead was. We know, obviously, that our firm has put up a $35,000 reward with a couple other individuals. We know that we had a lot of digital campaigns out there, both in English and Spanish. So right now, we really don't know what that lead is. I'm sure we'll find that out during the discovery process when more information comes out. But right now, it's just a lead that led them to this man in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And luckily, the FBI was able to grab him that night.
Yeah, well, I mean, there are countless law enforcement agencies who worked this case every single day for the past 10 months. Some of them even traveled to El Salvador to find out who this person is. So incredible work done by them, but unfortunate that that work needed to take place. Randolph, thank you so much for joining us. Our thoughts are with the Morin family this morning.
All right, so there's that. All right, so now next, we talked about this on them folks over there, and if you guys haven't checked out any of those them folks over there videos, make sure y'all go and check those out. You know what I'm saying? Run them replays up. We're gonna talk about some model minority folks and what they decided to do, because they decided to start thieving. They decided to start thieving, and they trying to start thieving and get pizzade. They went right past the money. They went right past the dollars, and they went straight for the gold. they went straight for the gold. Now, again, we're on a pattern. As we're going through this, as we're watching this, we're seeing a pattern. So I'm going to ask you guys again before we even get started with this, what pattern is it that we keep seeing with this particular type of situation? Let me know in the comment section. And also, again, shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate y'all. If y'all haven't hit that like button, take a moment, hit that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit that bell, please take a moment, hit that bell. And also, please share the stream to your social media.
2 Chinese nationals are behind bars in East Texas tonight after officers found nearly 20 gold bars in their vehicle during a traffic stop on Interstate 20. The 2 men are now
Now, what y'all think they planned on doing with this? They took all this gold. What was they about to do with this?
charged with money laundering. Thank you very much for being here tonight. I'm Casey Koviak.
And I'm Isaac Ramirez. We begin tonight with KETK's Ashlyn Anderson. She is here to explain how officers made this discovery in tonight's top story. Ashlyn.
Casey, Isaac, nearly 20 gold bars worth about $250,000 were seized during a traffic stop on I-20 Thursday. Officials today blaming current immigration policies.
So now we got this situation here. See, now we're starting to get the crossover, right? I want to see if y'all are catching the crossover. And if you ask me, this is one of the reasons why less and less and less of these stories are starting to be in the news, because now you got the crossover where law enforcement is starting to be way more verbal, and they straight up calling out DC during their press conferences. Hey, we can't even keep people safe because y'all got all these people coming in and out. We don't even know who these people are. Then they get here and they get here and they worse than the criminals that we got to deal with.
A shocking discovery made Thursday after 2 Chinese nationals were pulled over by a Wills Point police officer for a traffic violation on Interstate 20 just east of Canton.
He used translation services that law enforcement has available to them, was very suspicious of their activities. So acting on his suspicion, he ran his dog on this vehicle.
The canine alerted the officer, leading to a search of the vehicle. Inside, police found gold bars worth $250,000.
Currently, they're facing charges of money laundering, which is transporting the proceeds of illegal activity.
After the arrest, officials began to work with Homeland Security. Soon it came to light that both men entered the U.S. illegally from Mexico.
There you go. So we're dealing with the pattern. So again, I'm going to ask y'all, what's the pattern? What's the pattern? The pattern is the very thing that they keep saying is not a problem. Now, again, the news keeps sitting up there saying that this isn't a problem, right? How many times have we heard the news say, well, this isn't a problem. There's quote unquote bad actors. How many times have you heard this? Bad actors in quote unquote disinformation campaigns, bad actors in quote unquote disinformation agents. How many times have you heard that? How many times have you literally heard people crash out and call anybody that doesn't agree with what they got to say bad actors and disinformation agents? This is a phrase that's literally used over and over and over and over and over and over again. Now, how are people bad actors and disinformation agents when the information that they're saying is literally lining up not only with the local news, right? Because you can't always count on the local news, also lining up with law enforcement, and is lining up with the civilian families of a lot of the victims of this crime. So now let me ask you guys this question. Do you all notice that there's a illegal entry to criminality pipeline when it comes to this particular segment of people, this particular demographic? And shout out to Shatera. I agree. I don't know if you guys saw that video that I did about the prison in Venezuela where they're emptying those prisons because the prisons are completely out of control. So in order to get it back into control, they kind of got to get less people in there so they can control it. And they kind of did the same thing in El Salvador. Now El Salvador has like near zero crime, and one of the reasons because they sent all the criminals away. So yeah, absolutely, I wouldn't disagree with that. And I want to put this out here to everybody. Shatera says, nah, Rob, I think they're sending criminals purposely. I agree. And I actually think that there's enough evidence to be able to say that without any type of accusations of mis or disinformation. And I'm curious, what do you guys think? If you guys think that this is true, give me a thumbs up. If you guys think that that's false, then give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Aristopat. What's good with it, bro? Good to see you in here.
transporting the proceeds of illegal activity.
After the arrest, officials began to work with Homeland Security. Soon it came to light that both men entered the U.S. illegally from Mexico in 2023.
If you don't think that the chaos down at the border is not affecting rural East Texas, yesterday's stop and yesterday's arrest is a prime example of that.
So this story, Mr. Lin and Mr. Chen, their story started with them leaving China.
Their name is Mr. Lin and Mr. Chen. Mr. Lin and Mr. Chen, they got a thing one, thing two name.
And coming here to prey on Americans. It ends right now with us taking $250,000 worth of gold from their organization.
If the money is proven to come from criminal activity in court, it will go to the county and be invested into law enforcement.
The tool of civil forfeiture allows us to take it from the criminals and put it in our budget and use that money to turn around and buy more tools, give more training, hire more officers.
If a court does not prove the goal.
So now let me ask you this. As many times as they be doing these busts and they be doing drug busts, and this don't have anything to do with migrants, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about just, you know what I'm saying, domestic crimes. How come none of the police officers look like they spend any money? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Kevin Smith. What's good with it, bro?
Gold bars were obtained illegally, the county will have to return them. And until then, both men are sitting in the Van Zandt County Jail, each on a $100,000 bond. In studio, Ashlyn Anderson, K2K News.
It's interesting that they're only on a $100,000 bond. They're on a bond. They're on a bond amount, right? They're on a bond amount that's less than they're on a bond amount that's less than the amount that they stole. Now we got to go back, right? We got to go back in time. There's a video from 6 months ago that talks about New York City announcing $53 million in prepaid cards for migrant families. This is something that everybody was thrilled about. I remember you guys were all happy and cheering this on when we first heard about it, and so many people trying to contain how thrilled they were about this. And I understand, I get it. $53 million is a lot of money for us to not be able to have our hands on. You know what I'm saying? However, time has passed. Since that 6 months, more has happened. And we're going to first look at what happened originally, and then we're going to look at the update. All right. Now, mind you, this is the video from 6 months ago. This is when this first happened. New York City announces $53 million in prepaid cards for migrant families. Now, mind you, this is just in New York. This is coming from the state budget, probably with a little mix of federal allocated dollars. Mayor Eric Adams getting up, telling everybody about this, happy. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what happens.
A national crisis, but on the local level, the mayor of New York City has a new plan to help migrants with the cost of food. It's drawing criticism, I should tell you. Eric Adams' proposal is to give families prepaid credit cards that they can use to buy food or supplies. Texas Governor Greg Abbott slammed the idea, calling it reprehensible. So let's get into it. How does it actually work? National correspondent Axel Tercios is based in New York. Axel, I know this is always playing out right around you, and there are locals who are very hospitable, others who say, hey, we want resources as well. Can you give us some details about how the plan would work?
Well, Chance, it's mixed emotions around New York City residents, and the mayor's whole plan is to basically replace the already non-perishable food boxes that the city is providing to migrants, single adult migrants and migrant families that are staying in hotels like this, which is the former Roosevelt Hotel here in Midtown Manhattan, which is now serving as the main intake center for all of the migrants that are coming in. And just before I go into details, I want to show you that we can still see some people lining up here, coming for the first time, like Alejandro. I was just talking to Alejandro. He just arrived from Venezuela. His friend, who is wearing the black hoodie, he was telling me that his state limit at the shelter is about to expire this Friday, as the city right now established this new shelter state limit for 30 days for single adult migrants and 60 days for families. So we are going to see.
So, and again, they're doing this, right? They're doing all this on top of, they get to stay at the Roosevelt, which is a 5-star hotel, for free. All right. Now, mind you, this is a review, right? This is from 6 months ago. Now, I know a lot of y'all been here for a long time, right? But to people who haven't, how many people knew that this was going on? If you knew that this was going on, give me a thumbs up. If you guys did not know that this is going on, give me a thumbs down. Now, I want you guys to pay close attention to the title because it's hilarious how they try to sell this stuff to people. Mayor Adams' office says program would save New York City over $600,000 a month. How spending $53 million somehow is going to save $600,000 a month is beyond me. If there's only 12 months in a year, right? 12 months in a year, at the very most, we're talking about $12 million a year if we save, quote unquote, $1 million a month. We're spending more than we're saving here. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Tone Taylor. Shout out to my man Gone for Milk. What's good with it, bro? Make sure you guys show Gone for Milk some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Gone for Milk for being a member for 13 months.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Definitely appreciate it, bro. And shout out to everybody. If you're not a member, it's only 99 cents. Definitely helps. Membership guarantees that you'll always be able to watch the videos on YouTube. You guys know the videos go hidden on members only. If YouTube decides to yellow dollar sign them, you can watch them on Rumble. If you're on Rumble, a lot of people not on Rumble. Easiest way, just hit that 99 cents. It definitely helps. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Gone for Milk for doubling down on the support. Make sure y'all show him some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for funding the channel.
Again!
Definitely appreciate it, bro.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the march of dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
Shout out to you, Gone for Milk. I appreciate you, bro. Gone for Milk says the migrant issue isn't enough to get me voting. People care too much about something that will happen like this under AI. Yeah, and I agree. And that's one of the reasons why I asked this question and titled this like this, to get people thinking. To get people thinking. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, bro. I definitely appreciate it. Shout out to my man AB Promotions for funding the organization for 10 months, being a member. Definitely appreciate it, bro. Make sure y'all show AB some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emojis, some ducks in the chat for my man AB Promotions, standing on business for 10 months.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Definitely appreciate it, bro. And shout out to Shatera. Make sure y'all show Shatera some love. Standing on business for 22 months, longer than that, but 22 months, you know what I'm saying, accounted for by YouTube. So make sure that y'all show her some love, throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for her.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
So, yeah, this is wild, man. So they advertise this as somehow saving money when we're saving less than we're spending. But I don't, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Keep seeing more people making line here to try to get a spot in one of the city's shelters. So the amount on these prepaid credit cards will depend on the number of members in the family, and also if they're making any income at all during the month. So they will be able to get this prepaid credit card to buy food at groceries, supermarkets, convenience stores, and the bodegas. So a family of four, for instance, could get up to $1,000. And the mayor says that there are a lot of benefits behind.
So now here go the thing, right? When it comes to, they saying that the families could get like up to $1,000. I'm going to ask you guys this question. Is this the families getting $1,000 in addition to food stamp and like SNAP and WICs and stuff like that? Let me know.
This because this is going to allow the families to buy food based on their preference and also culturally relevant to their diets. And the mayor says that the city could save more than $600,000 a month, which comes to about $7.2 million every year. And the pilot will start with 500 families. And if it is successful, then the city will consider expanding the program to even more families staying in city hotels. Chance.
Now, mind you, none of these people are voting, right? None of these people are voting. A lot of these people are not even in the United States yet, but there's people who are here in the United States who are trying to facilitate ease of access to resources for these people because of some vested interest or some investment that they have, right? My question is, we have to find out and figure this out and think about it rationally and logically. Who does it benefit the most to have this enormous amount of people coming into the country and to have them funded like this? Let me know what you guys think. And again, shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate you guys. If you guys haven't smashed that like button yet, take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit that bell, please take a moment, hit that bell, and also please share the stream to your social media.
I see. And when you read coverage, I mean, folks are saying your heart's in the right place, and you see some already there with a warm blanket to wrap people around it. Others saying, I want to live in a hotel. I want free health care. I want the government to give me gift cards, and I'm not getting any of that. So could you explain how the critics are talking about this, why they're upset?
Well, Chance, like I said at the beginning, there are mixed emotions here in the city. Some of the critics are calling this an offense to taxpayers. And we're hearing from city council members, even Republican Councilman Joe Borelli has said that the city, quote, the city is just giving this migrant population more free stuff at the expense of New York City taxpayers. Also, nationally, Republicans in other states are joining in the criticism. For instance, Texas Governor Greg Abbott is calling.
Now, let me ask you guys this question. Is this just giving these people free stuff? I mean, like what's going to end up happening, what is already happening is that they give these people massive amount of resources. And then the people who are giving them the massive amount of resources and the people who receive the massive amount of resources somehow end up getting instant amnesia. And then they turn around and look at you and say, well, why can't you do anything? Why can't you do anything? Why can't you do anything? While they're literally getting bankrolled. Let me ask you guys this question. Does this count as getting bankrolled? If this counts as getting bankrolled, throw an angry face in the chat.
The proposal, quote, insanity, reprehensible, and even offensive. And this is a governor that for months and out has been sending thousands of asylum seekers to New York City and arguably contributing to the massive humanitarian migrant crisis here in the Big Apple. Chance.
Axel Tercios on the ground in New York City, where folks are actively looking for help. Appreciate that.
All right, so there's that. All right, so now we're going to fast forward to a month ago. Remember what they said? What was the number? Shout out to my man TD. What's good with it, bro? What was the number? What was the amount, right, of money that they had said that they allocated for this debit card program? They said that they were giving away $53 million for the debit card program, right? And somehow this $53 million is supposed to help us save $600,000 a month. How does $53 million negate at the very most $12 million? And you still have a deficit of what? $53 million, $12 million. You still have a deficit of $41 million, if I'm not mistaken. But somehow it's supposed to be helping us save $600,000 a month. I don't know where they got that math from. You know what I'm saying? But there's more.
City is expanding its debit card program for migrant families. The cards are meant to pay for food and baby supplies, but critics, well, they're worried about fraud and misuse funds. However, the city is showing that the program is actually helping alleviate the financial burden of caring for asylum seekers. Good day, Jim.
So now, again, to me, you can tell me anything. I'm not one of those people. Listen, I'm one of those people that's difficult. You try to run some game on me like, yeah, you know, this will work. Maybe he'll just shut up. Nah, I'm not going to just shut up. You got to keep telling me. I'm sorry. I might seem slow, but you got to keep explaining this to me. I don't understand how spending $53 million, if the amount of savings is not more than $53 million, which it's not, how is that saving money? I got to ask you guys in the comment section, help me, please. How is this saving money? I haven't been convinced, and no one has showed any evidence that this method of spending massive amounts of money is helping us save massive amounts of money. They haven't proven that yet. You know what I'm saying?
Jessica Formoso has more.
The city is expanding a program providing migrant families with debit cards to buy food and baby essentials. About 3 months ago, the Adams administration started testing out the program with a small group of families with children staying at city-run shelters. It started at 3 hotels. About 3,000 people received the cards. Now 7,300 prepaid cards will be distributed. In a statement, New York City Deputy Mayor for Health and Human Services, Ann William Isom, says the program enables newly arriving giving families the ability to make choices for themselves. And
now they did make a choice. They made a choice to come here, right? Is that fair to say? If that's fair to say, give me a thumbs up. If it's not fair to say, then give me a thumbs down. Oh, you know what? Speaking of which, what happened with Cori Bush? Did they count those up yet? Shout out to Torian. Torian says off topic, but kind of on topic. But Valentina Gomez is getting wrecked in Missouri right now. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. A lot of people in Missouri who can relate to Juneteenth, and you got to kind of, I don't know what be wrong with these people, but you got to understand that people ain't a punching bag. Like, ain't nobody about to just sit there and listen to that and then turn around and, you know what I'm saying, like, help you keep your job. Like, that's not about to happen. Yeah, he got the vacation shorts on. Like, he's sitting on a canoe fishing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Shout out to Caldona. What's good with you, bro?
and their children by using these cards, stating, quote, they can buy from local shops, support
Appreciate
small
you, bro.
businesses, and
Shout out to TD. TD said, I just looked it up and the jury's still out on her. I want to know. I want to know if AIPAC was able to buy getting her out of there. I really want to see what happens with that. You know what I'm saying?
manage their own resources. When we empower people, we help them achieve self-sufficiency and access the American dream.
Now, I don't agree with this. For one, this isn't the method that's been used with us. And for two, when you give somebody a crutch too long, you cause them to develop a new weakness. That's what happens. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Patrick. Make sure y'all show Patrick some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Patrick.
Get the money, y'all. There's poor people around. I'm rich, bitch.
Silence. Silence. I ain't got no money, pop.
Cash rules everything around me. Queen, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo.
Shout out to Patrick. Patrick said, Mayor Eric Adams said, stop pocket watching, Rob. Hey, listen here, son. Why you so worried about what we doing over here? I mean, I'm over here in New York City, minding my own business, trying to get the city together, trying to get things ready for my second bid. And you all the way over there in Ohio worried about what we got going on over here. Worry about what you guys got going on over there. I got New York. That's what they voted for me for. That's what they made me the mayor for. Stop worrying about what we got going on over here and take care where you stay at. Take care where you stay at, son. That's what Mayor Eric Adams said to me. He released a statement. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Tedra. Tedra said Bell is whooping her butt. Okay, so it looks like Corey, it looks like AIPAC might have actually successfully, they might have successfully paid to get her up out of there. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Kurt. Yeah, you got swagger, son. That's the reason why we invest in these people. You understand? Because a lot of these people, you know, they come from these places. They have it hard. You know, they have a difficult time. You know, they cross the border. They work really hard, come here to the Big Apple to make something out of themselves, and they start to develop a swagger. Most times they get the swagger from me. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I got that swag. It's like, all right, dude.
Para los bebés, sí, señora, me parece excelente. It's excellent that we could go out and buy fresh food. Julie Cifuentes is a mother of 3. She arrived 9 months ago and has been staying at the Anchor Hotel in Queens, where she says the food is not fresh, and many times she ends up buying food outside.
I mean, I don't know really what to say here. That's not gonna sound bad, so I guess I'm not gonna say anything. But I think there's a lot of weird expectations. We'll just put it like that. You guys agree? If you guys agree that there's just a lot of weird expectations, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't think that there's a lot of weird expectations, give me a thumbs down. Yeah, a lot of weird expectations. You know what I'm saying? A lot of entitlement. You know what I'm saying?
She hopes to obtain one of these cards this time around. We don't eat here often because you can tell the food is not fresh. The cards provide families a 28-day allowance to purchase food and baby supplies at stores that sell groceries.
Now, here goes my question, man. Why Why do they think that the people of New York wouldn't be able to use that, especially like when New York has a crazy, crazy cost of living? Man, the cost of living in New York City is offensive, man. It is crazy. You know what I'm saying? New York City got a crazy cost of living. Do you think that the people in New York wouldn't benefit from something like this? Why would you just give this to people that like don't even pay tax? Like, this is just, to me, this is insane. This is an if you ask me, this is an absolute betrayal by the government, the state government, and the federal government to the people of New York and the other places where they're sending these people to, Chicago and all that. I would never vote for any of these people ever again. People scared, you know what I'm saying, living paycheck to paycheck, barely can afford anything. Make it make sense. Yeah, and all they'll just say is they need to work harder. You see that video where the Latino dude is over there? I think it's in Chicago. He telling the black lady, you lazy, you lazy, you lazy, you lazy. You sitting up there getting a direct deposit for no reason, getting policy and stuff done. You haven't put in any work. You know what I'm saying? And you got the nerve to sit here and tell people that been here forever, you lazy, you lazy, you lazy. Man, these people got crazy nerve. They got crazy nerve. I don't know if these people understand really like the type of sentiment that they're starting to develop. I wouldn't be surprised if the Biden-Harris, not the Biden-Harris, if the Harris-Walz administration somehow gets voted in, because we know that the Democrats got that election magic. So, you know what I'm saying? They know how to do things that, you know, are kind of outside of science and math. If one of those type of events occurs again, and somehow they end up becoming the president and vice president, I could see like an unstable like type situation like what they got going on in Europe here in the United States, with people just being tired of this nonsense and these rude, entitled people coming here, getting paychecks and getting bankrolled and sitting up there, got the nerve to say we're dumb and we don't work hard. The only thing to me, right, is when they say that we're dumb. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, as irritating as that might be, you got to kind of ask the question, well, why do people keep feeding into this? When are people going to learn? I mean, they might be on to something with that one, but still, you're a visitor. You're not going to come here and, you know what I'm saying, be all rude in somebody else's house. Like, I don't know if that's part of the culture or not, but that's not really how you should be moving. You know what I'm saying?
And convenience items. As of June 16th, since its launch, the program has helped 900 families.
Yeah.
According to the city, the card costs.
I wouldn't disagree. I wouldn't disagree. Shout out to TD. TD says, in between 2020 Magic and the couch, Harris definitely might mess around and get in. Absolutely. And I don't know if people watch the Joe Rogan podcast or not. I saw a clip that I think it went viral. He actually said the same thing. And I think a lot of people are kind of worried about that. If you guys agree with TD, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. And shout out to everybody that's watching. I really appreciate you guys being here. If you all have not smashed the like button yet, please take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys have not hit that bell, please take a moment, hit that bell, and share the stream to your social media.
Half as much as it would cost to deliver boxes of food to families staying at hotels, saving the city so far over $598,000, and it's projected to save the city approximately
I don't know. There's no way. $598,000. You saved the city $598,000 by spending $53 million. Like, yeah, no, man, that didn't happen.
$4 million on migrant spending by the end of this year alone. But not everyone is in favor of this program, saying migrants are living for free at the expense of New York taxpayers.
We have no obligation to do anything. We have no obligation to house, feed, clothe these individuals. And as we've been saying for almost 2 years now, the things that the city are doing are creating incentives for these migrants to come here.
In Queens, I'm Jessica Formoso, Fox 5 News.
All right, so there's that. All right. So, yeah, I actually agree with that dude that looks like the penguin right there. You know what I'm saying? Now, check this out. Some foreign nationals decided to do some wild stuff with some ATM machines. When it comes to the foreign nationals, you know what I'm saying? We saw those Chinese guys. What was the names? Chen and Lin. They decided to take $250,000 worth of gold, right? They go straight for the money. They say, I'm not getting no cash. I'm finna get this gold. These people said, forget it. We just about to get we about to get the whole ATM machine. We finna get the whole ATM machine.
And ATMs in our area hit by a massive card skimming scam. And now the feds are charging suspects.
They say they're all in the country illegally. The ITV's Brian Crandall tells us tonight. Brian?
Gene Patrice and all investigators claim this.
Okay, so again, we got the pattern. We got the pattern. What's the pattern? Every time I ask about the pattern, what's the pattern? Started right off. They hit the pattern.
And ATMs in our area hit by a massive card skimming scam. And now the feds are charging suspects.
They say they're all in the country illegally. The ITV's Brian Crandall tells us tonight. Brian?
Gene Patrice and all investigators claim the suspects fraudulently pulled hundreds of thousands of dollars out of customers' accounts by installing card skimmers at the checkouts in multiple Walmart and BJ stores and ATMs.
So they just come in doing the scamming. Now, they already, I mean, look at how greedy these people are. They already got their own credit cards that they're getting paid for with the tax money, but that's not enough. In addition to the tax money that they getting, you know what I'm saying? They got to come with some software and some hardware and steal money and put it on and put more money, download some more money onto the debit cards. You know what I'm saying? That's just ridiculous. Shout out to Patrick. Patrick says, don't be surprised if some of those establishment Republicans want them in over Trump. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. I wouldn't disagree. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Patrick again. Patrick says, I think Harris may win now more than Trump. I tell you, she got the whole system behind her, though. We got to figure this out. Who do y'all think is going to win? Shout out to Lala Papa. What's good with it? Who do y'all think is going to win? Trump and Vance or Harris and Walls? All right, put it in the chat. Who y'all think is going to win?
Our area. Security camera photos that federal investigators claim catch the accused crooks in action, mostly from late summer and fall last year. Authorities claim the 6 suspects they've now charged installed card skimming devices that thousands of customers put their cards in. Skimmers obtain credit or debit card information, which then allows someone to extract account information to clone onto other cards to use themselves. In this case, to the tune of more than $300,000, according to the feds. They say the skimmers were installed at BJ stores in Johnston, Warwick, and Seekonk, at Walmart stores in Coventry.
I mean, how do you just install these, though? Like, how do you just put these in? Like, I'm just finna come in here and install these like maintenance. Like, how do you just do that and get away with it? You know what I'm saying? Like, how they able to just do that?
And other locations in Massachusetts and at bank ATMs in Bristol and Westerly, where $25,000 was fraudulently withdrawn from one couple's bank account.
Now, shout out to TD. TD says Trump and Vance will probably win, but it will be a lot closer than most expect it to be. I'll tell you what, I was completely wrong about how the polls flipped. Unless those polls are like fake or inaccurate, I never saw them making like a 300-degree turn like how they did. These are mathematical anomalies, what we got going on right now. So at that point, when I see things not following like basic mathematical and statistical rules, I'm just like, I can't even guess at this point now because everything is going to be random. But TD says Trump and Vance, but it'll be a lot closer than most expect it to be. If you guys agree with TD, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Look at these wonderful folks.
They say all 6 suspects are in the country illegally. Some of them had been arrested in years past for crossing the border illegally.
So again, this is what I'm saying. When you see these people that have multiple, they enter multiple times. They've been in illegally, got deported, been in illegally, got deported, been in illegally, got deported. These things right here are clear, very clear. It's very indicative of lots of failure. These kind of things should never happen. Like, there should be some type of quality control initiatives, right? There should be some type of, risk management where these people aren't, you know what I'm saying, multiple entering and multiple getting deported. This just shows that this isn't being managed at all. At all. Shout out to TD. TD says the polls are beyond fake, in my opinion. Yeah, I would agree that. Or if they're not fake, they're very inaccurate. We'll just put it like that. The 180 in recent polling has been completely unbelievable. Yeah, bro, it's completely unbelievable. Completely unbelievable. Doesn't make any sense. None. The only thing that it makes sense in regards with is that if people are sensitive to the media bombardment, but even that doesn't make sense because there's no way that they could have bombarded people with enough media literally in one day to have made it have the 1 day 24-hour flip that it had. Literally the day that all of this happened, there was no media bombardment. It's just, okay, Biden's out, Kamala's in. Boom, all of a sudden the polls flipped. It wasn't even enough time for them to do any type of campaign or propaganda. So it's not like we can say that propaganda and campaign has been effective because they didn't even there was no turnaround time for that to even be done. Like when the announcement was made, it was almost like simultaneously the polls flipped with the announcement, which is crazy. Like that doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying?
Some of them had been arrested in years past for crossing the border illegally. They all have last known addresses in California, but are citizens of Romania, Ireland, and Great Britain. 4 of them have the same last name, Codreanu. Nicholas Codreanu has been arrested before on allegations of burglary and tampering with an ATM. 5 of the suspects have court dates this week. One of them, though, Ayana Zamfir, has not been caught, and there's a warrant for his arrest. Investigators believe the group of suspects are responsible for similar skimming scams in other states, like New York and Pennsylvania, earlier this year. And actually, 2 of the suspects were arrested in Tennessee back in April, accused of identity theft and possessing ATM skimming equipment.
How did these, again, so I want you guys to pay attention to the patterns. Like another pattern with these people is that they get in trouble multiple times. You know what I'm saying? Like they getting in trouble multiple times. This is ridiculous. Multiple times across different state lines for the same offenses, and nothing ever happens to them. And then they wonder why these people keep doing the same thing. Well, they're establishing a pattern that there's no consequence. Who's gonna, if there's no consequence to you committing a crime, and committing the crime benefits you or helps you in some way, well, why would you stop committing the crime? You know what I'm saying?
A sheriff in Northwest Florida really feels the effects of the open border in the southern border.
Okaloosa County Sheriff Eric Aden speaking out tonight following the second arrest in as many months of illegal aliens accused of committing sex crimes on.
How many heard of this? How many people heard of these people here? If you guys are aware of these 2 individuals right here, give me a thumbs up. If you guys are not aware of those 2 individuals, then give me a thumbs down. Again, it's just ridiculous. It's just nonstop. Nonstop.
It's something where a sheriff in Northwest Florida really feels the effects of the open border in the southern border.
Okaloosa County Sheriff Eric Aden speaking out tonight following the second arrest in as many months of illegal aliens accused of committing sex crimes on teenage girls. These are 2 separate cases. In both instances, the suspects deported only to come back. DNA also helping lead to both arrests.
So again, suspect is deported only to come back. I mean, this right here is deported to coming back is a phenomenon all in its own that clearly needs to be studied because clearly that happens a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something that needs to be isolated and looked at its own separate problem because it seems to be such a reoccurring issue. You know what I'm saying?
Crimes on teenage girls. These are 2 separate cases. In both instances, the suspects deported only to come back. DNA also helping lead to both arrests. Tonight, both remain in the Okaloosa County Jail with immigration holds.
20-year-old Mauricio Escobar Munez facing serious charges of sexual battery of a child and burglary. According to Okaloosa County Sheriff's investigators, Escobar Munez broke into her home in the middle of the night.
A female, 14-year-old female in our area of Fort Walton Beach, awakens to a Hispanic male unknown to her, hand over her face, speaking in Spanish. He sexually batters her.
Sheriff Eric Aden says the crime happened on April 21st. A DNA profile.
I mean, that's for one, that's ridiculous, right? That's extremely ridiculous. For 2, that's a completely over the top crime. For 3, it's a traumatic and violent crime. And 4, like there doesn't need to be individuals who feel like it's okay for them to do this to just be walking around literally doing this to people. Like, this is insane. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous.
Taken from the victim hit a match on July 11th, leading them to Escobar Munez, who lived less than a mile from the victim. Even more frustrating for the sheriff, the Honduran native had also been deported by Homeland Security in September 2022.
And was labeled as deny entry classification. You can see how well that.
So then now you got to ask the question, how did he get back? How did you know what I'm saying? Like, how did he get back in? How did see, like, do you guys notice how these things never get addressed? How did this dude get back in? None of this none of these things make any sense. And, I was gonna say something, but I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna let it keep going. All I'm gonna tell y'all is this, man. This is all I'm gonna tell y'all. We've been talking about this stuff for a long time. You know what I'm saying? There's clear evidence that people have in the United States, certain populations more or less have a issue with staying focused, right? Would you guys agree? And as a result of that issue with staying focused, none of this stuff has stopped happening. But for whatever reason, because as much as people say they don't like the mainstream media, they follow the mainstream media. The mainstream media is not touching these topics as much anymore. Ripe for the time for the election. Ripe for the time for the election. People think that this stuff has gone away. It's not happening anymore. I've never stopped. I got a whole nother channel where this is literally the only thing that I talk about. How many people are subscribed to Undocumented? If you're subscribed to Undocumented, give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to Undocumented, if one of the mods could put the link to Undocumented in the chat, make sure you subscribe to that channel. Yeah, as a whole, that's all that's talked about on that channel is the migrant crisis. Hasn't stopped. But what you got to pay attention to is you got to pay attention to people's interest factor, right? Because I would say that things getting done or things getting accomplished is definitely a factor or related. Yeah, and undocumented. If y'all could put the link to undocumented and undocumented bros in the chat, that'd be great. Yeah, make sure y'all hit the bells on those because we're gonna definitely be talking about it because this ain't gonna stop. And I'll tell you what, if they make that 2020 magic happen, we're gonna have content about this for days. We're gonna have content about this for days. You know what I'm saying?
That worked, right? To be honest with you, the cell phone that we seized that we're using as evidence is probably one that was given to him by our government at the border. And then secondly, if there was such thing.
Did you hear that? I mean, like, basically the government, for the most part, it's almost safe to say that the government is effectively arming these people with the tools that they need to facilitate the illegal things that they're doing. Would you guys agree? Shout out to Cameron. I appreciate it, bro. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down.
And was labeled as deny entry classification. You can see how well that worked, right? To be honest with you, the cell phone that we seized that we're using as evidence is probably one that was given to him by our government at the border. And then secondly, if there was such thing as an accessory before the fact, maybe Mayorkas needs to be looked at because this is ridiculous.
Sheriff Aiden, not the only one upset with the Secretary of Homeland Security. You'll remember House Republicans.
Now, mind you, you see this says Fox 10 News. This is not a right-wing channel. You know what I'm saying? This is not Newsmax. This is not Fox. You know what I'm saying? It's not none of that. This is your local station. This is your local station. And now this is the thing that people don't understand. As much of an issue that people have, and this is what I'm talking about, as much as the issue that people have with quote unquote the right, you know what I mean? Much as people have as an issue with the right, the Democrats are basically forcing a bunch of people who aren't naturally right wing to become right wing. They're creating more right wing people. You know what I'm saying? I tell you guys this all the time. I'm way more liberal than TD. TD will tell you that. You know what I'm saying? But because of what the liberal government is doing, you got me and TD sounding like we align politically, and for the most part, we don't. You know what I'm saying? That's what the United States government is doing. This is a local news agency, and they got it sounding like Fox. Sounds like Fox because no one's addressing any of these issues. You know what I'm saying? If you guys agree with that assessment, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down.
Tried to impeach him earlier this year. Meanwhile, the latest arrest marks the second in as many months. 24-year-old Jose Chan from Guatemala arrested June 26 for the same charge on a 14-year-old girl in Okaloosa County. This crime happening on February 25th. Sheriff Aiden says just 16 days earlier, he too had been deported, only to illegally cross the border and return to Okaloosa County.
It's just frustrating.
So again, I mean, we got to ask this question, like, man, what's the process, man? How these people keep, I mean, what happens when they get deported that they come right back in? How do they do it? Hey, shout out to Black Spider. Make sure y'all show Black Spider some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Black Spider funding the organization and standing on business for 12 months.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the march of dimes.
This is the hardest record out. Cash rules everything around me. Queen, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Shout out to Black Spider. Black Spider made it to that 1-year membership. We got a bunch of people that's been members for a year, more than a year. Become a member. You know what I'm saying? It's only 99 cents. Hit that membership link. We moving towards 200 members, which is amazing. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it going. You know what I'm saying? That definitely helps. Been able to do a lot, you know what I'm saying, in the last couple of days. The more members we get, the more I'm able to do, you know what I'm saying? Or Patreon or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man TD. Make sure you guys show TD some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for TD funding the organization.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the march of dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Queen, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
Get the money, y'all. There's poor people around.
I'm rich, bitch.
Shout out to my man TD Media. TD Media says, if Harris wins and exit polls come back saying black folks voted 90%, my 2025 villain arc begins. Hurricane IQ T Devil has entered the building. Dun, dun, dun. TD about to be like, hold on real quick. TD about to be like this.
I am the rocks of the eternal shore. Crash against me and be broken.
TD about to be like, I'm that black dude that leans to the right. Vote for the couch and be broken.
Ancient spirits of evil, transform this decayed form to Mumra, the ever-living.
the villain arc is real. Yeah. The villain arc is real. You know what I'm saying?
I am the rocks of the eternal shore. Crash against me and be broken.
Oh man. Oh, that's bad. You know what I'm saying? He gonna sound like Unicron. Vote for the couch and proceed on your way to oblivion. Proceed on your way to oblivion.
days earlier, he too had been deported, only to illegally cross the border and return to Okaloosa County.
It's just frustrating. It's frustrating to see this play out right here in Northwest Florida.
While the problem at the U.S. southern border didn't happen overnight and has become a major issue in the presidential election, Sheriff Aden points out these are just two cases of many he believes could have been avoided.
There's a pathway to citizenship, and I understand it's an arduous process, but many people do it. They do it the right way. They become great skilled laborers here, business owners here, and they're great American citizens. And we certainly applaud that. But we've got to stop the border of illegal aliens. We're going to hold them accountable, but if they weren't here to begin with, these crimes wouldn't have been committed by them.
Sheriff Aden says both will face charges here and again currently have immigration holds on them in the jail.
It's something more.
So yeah, again, what this is showing is that these processes not efficient. These processes, they're not stopping anything. They're not stopping anybody. You know what I'm saying? Not stopping anything, not stopping anybody.
Migrants crossing to the U.S. at our southern border every month, mainly from Venezuela, Mexico, and the Northern Triangle nations, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras.
But another group of asylum seekers have their sights specifically set on Cincinnati.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection data indicates that from March to June, more than 85 people from Mauritius arrived in the country, up from just 1,000 the 4 months prior.
So that is an area, it's a country in West Africa where people are fleeing reported state violence. The Associated Press reports that the nation was one of the last to criminalize slavery. And
like man, what? There was too much in that, literally just in the first like 30 seconds. We got to run that completely back. We got to run that completely back. All right. Did y'all catch all of that? If y'all caught all of that, give me a thumbs up. If y'all didn't catch all of that, give me a thumbs down.
Thousands of migrants crossing to the U.S. at our southern border every month, mainly from Venezuela, Mexico, and the Northern Triangle nations, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras.
But another group of asylum seekers have their sights specifically set on Cincinnati.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection data indicates that from March to June, more than 85 people from Mauritius arrived in the country, up from just 1,000 the 4 months prior.
So that is an area, it's a country in West Africa where people are fleeing reported state violence. The Associated Press reports that the nation was one of the last to criminalize slavery, and the practice is so widely.
All right, so this country, I heard this country is Mauritania. Hundreds of Mauritanian migrants settling in Cincinnati neighborhoods. How many people have heard of this particular situation and this particular Mauritanian to Cincinnati pipeline? If y'all heard of this, you know what I'm saying, let me know. If y'all haven't, you know what I'm saying, here it is.
We believe to be persistent in parts of the country that several people who spoke to the AP have said police targeted them because of anti-slavery activism.
So this population is finding its way to Cincinnati from a new route posted on TikTok and WhatsApp, an immigration loophole.
Why are they, again, we got another thing that needs to be studied. How much is TikTok contributing to the migrant crisis? We got to have a serious conversation about that. To what degree do you all think that social media, mainly like TikTok, is contributing to the migrant crisis? What do y'all think? Clearly, TikTok is playing a big role. I don't know. Y'all got to go watch all the videos on my channel. We've talked about this multiple times. The Chinese migrants, they using TikTok like crazy. You know what I'm saying? The cartel is creating point of sale points with TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Lala Papa. I bet you TD got the answer for you. Biden and Harris. The woke radical left. You know what I'm saying? The woke radical left. You know what I'm saying? But that's honestly the answer, though, for real.
Free activism.
So this population is finding its way to Cincinnati from a new route posted on TikTok and WhatsApp. An immigration loophole in Nicaragua allows relaxed entry requirements and makes a low-cost visa available for purchase without proof of onward travel.
Because they're smuggled illegally. So they're illegal from that country to the U.S. southern border. They travel all the way. They go into Turkey, then Colombia or El Salvador or Nicaragua, you name it. Then they make their way to our southern border. And then after crossing into the U.S. seeking asylum, they are settling in Blockland.
Andrea Finney has more.
Some migrants arrive early to beat the crowds.
We just had 1,000 Africans show up in the community.
Mauritanians from West Africa finding their way to Cincinnati.
Mauritanian. Now, this dude said that thousands of these people just showed up. Thousands of people just showed up. They're not doing anything about this. Now, let me ask you guys this question. What, as wild as this is going on, right? What does this look like under a Biden-Harris administration? What happens to this situation under Biden-Harris? I think, right, we all trying to figure it out. Shout out to Patrick Tyler. We all trying to figure it out. Shout out to Lala Papa. We all trying to, we in here. We trying to figure out what's going on because this is ridiculous.
Piling in here.
But 100 came to our doors last Friday, and we're wiped out of food.
It was a laborious process to help.
We don't know where they're from. We don't know how to communicate with them, and it created quite an issue for us.
But after a year of showing up to Valley Interfaith, they've collectively found their footing. No English is understood, but occasional French, mostly from.
I mean, this how. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but like how you just show, like, see, I'm not trying to be funny, man. But like, if I didn't understand English, I'm not even really gonna go around other people like that. I don't want to be around other people if I don't understand what you're saying, or I can't read you, or I don't know what you're capable of. Like, I don't want to be around nobody else. It's wild to me how comfortable these people are. I'm gonna just go around these other people and like I'm gonna just have faith that they're gonna do the right thing. Like, that's wild, man. Like, it's the differences across people are very interesting, to say the least.
No English is understood, but occasional French. Mostly Fulani or Wolof is spoken in their native country. This is Kaladu. He made his way to America 7 months ago seeking freedom and dignity. He's now central to maintaining food security and assistance for newer migrants because he speaks English.
He volunteered to start helping us do the data entry. We rely on data and demographics for those who support our mission. And so started to be able to figure out, who this person is.
Oh, man. See, like, I'm not, then you got like the, then you got like the overly helpful, naive white church people. Like, oh my God. Like, I don't know what's worse. I honestly don't know what's worse. Y'all got to tell me in the comment section what's worse. Is it worse that these people just come here and just plop down anywhere? Or is it worse that like this dude is basically like, oh, I don't know what the hell is going on, but I mean, if you say you can work, you can go ahead and work here and I'll just give you all this access to everybody's data. Like, this is a combination hot mess. Like, don't you find it suspicious that like this dude don't know English, but boom, automatically he knows your computer system and he can just get everything organized? Like, oh man, I look, hey man, listen.
Get them into the system so we can have good data and we can help them and we can track them.
You can't build any foundation without having a basic resource, which is your ability to feed yourself and your family.
I shout out to Patrick. Patrick says, are they really naive? I think there's a degree of naivety and a degree of hustling and a degree of weirdness on all parties' accounts involved in this situation. Just different degrees of it and who benefits from it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think so. I think everybody involved in this little heaping mess right here, they all suffer from the same things. You know what I'm saying?
He and a few others are the bridge between Mauritanians and English-speaking workers, while this group precariously seeks immigration status. Migrants shop with volunteers as they await their fate, loading items into carts, knowing this could go on for months. It's a temporary handout
Right.
as they anticipate a legal.
Thank you. Michael got it. Michael gets what I'm saying. And you wonder how the entire internet could just go down randomly. Right. Oh man, I don't know what's going on, but we got blue screens all over the United States. I just don't understand. I just don't get it. I do. I understand. I get it. And I'm not a computer programmer and I don't have any cybersecurity background. But guess what though? I get it.
Or permit, hoping to be self-sufficient. But they say the uncertainty is a better alternative to home.
It is not complying with the basic.
I want to tell you how crazy this is. I want to tell you exactly how crazy this is. Uncertainty is a better alternative to home. That is a very telling and very wild statement. Uncertainty is better than home. What that's basically saying is that his familiar situation is so bad that a game of Russian roulette would be better for him than his certainty of what he deals with on a daily basis. That's wild. That's wild. I don't even know how somebody could rationally or logically even make a statement like that. But okay, wow.
Better alternative to home.
It is not complying with the basic fundamental human rights. It is horrible. It is there is a slavery going on. There is a discrimination, Arabization by force.
He says.
Now they keep talking about how there's slavery going on in this country called Mauritania. And yo, shout out to the people that send me info. If you guys ever see anything about this Mauritanian situation, we'll definitely talk about it. We'll definitely put it in the chapters of Auditing Africa. Why hasn't the UN gotten involved to kind of like make sure that this slavery is not going on anymore? That's pretty concerning. I'm just saying, like, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing I can do about it, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, just that's pretty bad, man. Like, that's really bad.
Going on, there is a discrimination, Arabization by force.
He says there's no hope. That's why they flee and continue to make the tempestuous journey to Cincinnati.
Many people.
Up there you go. Now, so yeah, I'm not trying to be funny, man, but like when people hit people with hey, when people hit people with that in the Twitter space, you know what I'm saying? Hey, they said it on the news now, so I don't know. This is gonna make these conversations going forward real interesting.
No hope. That's why they flee and continue to make the tempestuous journey to Cincinnati.
Many people have died on the road coming. Many have been raped and their stuff taken in, and many are still stuck somewhere in South America for months.
A stark contrast to Valley Interfaith, where they are honored as a human being.
We don't do appointments. You show up when we're open. We sit down and we do one very simple thing. We ask people, why are you here?
Andrea Finney, Fox 19 Now.
All right, so there's that.
Valley Interfaith.
All right, so there's that. Kind of crazy, man. We're going to definitely keep an eye on that. And what's interesting is that, believe it or not, I actually pay attention to Cincinnati local news, and I didn't hear anything about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't say anything about that for the most part in the Cincinnati local news, which is wild. Shout out to Gone for Milk, Flee Force Ones, bro. That's hilarious. That's like Trump with them air That's like Trump with them air surrections and the air assassinations.
Yeah, Dan and Shani, good morning to both of you. Certainly a scary situation for anyone involved or anybody who witnessed this. According to the Brooklyn Reader, this migrant shelter adjacent to us opened back in April and has the capacity to house as many as 765 adult migrants.
So I want you guys to pay very close attention to how out of control, insane, and violent it's gotten at these migrant shelters. I mean, like, it's bad out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's super bad out here. Shooting, fighting, you know what I'm saying? Insane. Make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? But you never will because it doesn't.
This morning, though, it is the focus of a shooting investigation and still very much an active crime scene. It appears that police are still questioning people in the area. They have evidence markers behind this crime scene tape, and the motive behind the deadly pair of shootings, well, that remains unclear at this point. 2 people are dead and another critically injured in a pair of shootings at a park and migrant shelter in Brooklyn. The first happened just before 10:45 last night at Steuben Playground, located at the intersection of Flushing Avenue and Steuben Street. When cops arrived on scene, they found a man in his 30s who was shot in the chest. He was rushed to Methodist Hospital, where he died from his injuries. Gunfire rang out again less than 10 minutes later, only a few blocks away. According to police, the second shooting happened outside a migrant shelter on Ryerson Street. They say a man in his 40s was shot in the head and pronounced dead at the hospital. Another man in his 30s was shot multiple times in the body. Investigators tell us he's in stable condition.
Now, here go again. We got to ask these questions, man. These are migrants. These are people that came to the country. Many of these people came to the country illegally. Where are y'all getting these guns from? Why are y'all coming here being involved in crime? Like, what is really good? Like, what is really going on? You know how they give like this false idea of like just the hardworking migrant? Yeah, these migrants come in working hard. They come in hard, working hard to put in work. And when I say put in work, I'm talking about that actual like putting in work, like criminality. You know what I'm saying? The evidence is overwhelming. Somebody make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Right. Yeah, they come in to put in work on that sweet chocha.
Police believe the two shootings are related. They had no immediate description of any suspects, but this video shows officers surrounding a man on the ground who appears to be injured. Investigators did say they're looking into whether a scooter riding
Man, deformed pretty boy. What's good with it, bro?
gunman was struck by a car while taking off near Taft Place and Park Avenue.
This is an everyday thing. I get off the same time every night from work and walk through the same path, and it's like this from daytime to nighttime.
Carter, a security guard who works in the area, told reporters the playground where the initial shooting happened is littered with food, clothing, mattresses, single men, and families.
They don't got nowhere to really go.
Hey, man, littered with littered with single men is crazy. That's crazy. And the mattress, the STD mattress just sitting out there with the bottle of Corona right next to it. Yo, this is wild, man. This is wild. Littered with single men is crazy. Littered with single men is crazy work, man. What? Shout out to Black Spider. Black Spider said they did the same thing here in Seattle. It was not on the news, but they were sneaking them in and no one was looking. Yeah. Shout out to Deformed Pretty Boy. A man milk pads. Yeah, bro. That's crazy. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said one downside to voting for the couch is that it will not stop this migrant crisis. Yeah, I agree. That's the conundrum that people got to do the cost benefit analysis, and that's one of the things that hopefully we'll be able to at least start the process of in this live stream. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Lala Papa. Lala Papa says, wow, I've been seeing on TikTok illegals getting caught. Whoa, they've been getting caught, you know what I'm saying, doing that to girls on playgrounds. Yo, that's crazy. That is crazy. Crazy. Shout out to Shatira. Shatira said they should contact their local Manosphere chapter. Yo, that's wild. That's wild. Save yourself, migrant man. That's what they need to do. That's what you said they need to do. Save themselves, migrant man.
The initial shooting happened is littered with food, clothing, mattresses.
Yo, the migrant sphere is crazy. That's what this is right here. This is the migrant sphere. Right here, littered with single males. Man, that's crazy. This is like this is club bathroom nasty. This is bar bathroom floor nasty. You know what I'm saying?
Shooting happened is littered with food, clothing, mattresses, single men, and families.
They don't got nowhere to really go. I don't know if the shelter's overpacked because everywhere is crowded out here.
According to the latest NYPD crime statistics, shooting incidents decreased in the 88th precinct year to date from 6 to 2. Shooting victims, on the other hand, went down from 7 to 3, not including these latest victims of gun violence. Now, law enforcement sources tell the New York.
I'm not trying to be funny, man, but yo, hold on, man. We got to run this back. You know it's bad when if you park for a second, the truck get graffiti on it. Where they at, man? What is that? Like Where they at over there? What part of New York City is it? This East New York or something? The truck's not even safe. If you park, you finna get graffitied up. Y'all got me dead in the comment section.
Victims of gun violence. Now, law enforcement sources tell the New York Post that all of the victims, all three, two that have died and the other who is critically injured, are migrants. No arrests have yet been.
So again, this is migrant on migrant crime. This is undocumented on undocumented crime, and they don't talk about it like that. So again, this just proves the theory that people who are in proximity of each other commit crimes against each other, but for whatever reason, when it's only specified as race on race crime, when it comes to dealing with us and everybody else, yeah, you know, it just happens to be crime. Just happens to be crime. You know what I'm saying?
Critically injured are migrants. No arrests have yet been made. For now, though, we're live here in Clinton Hill, Brooklyn. Dan, back to you.
Yeah. with the coronas around it, bro. With the coronas around it, and the scene is littered with single men. Yo, that's what I was saying. Like, bro, I don't even know what you call that, man. Like, I don't even know what you call that. Like, that's beyond ratchet. Like, the boundaries of ratchet have been just, you know what I'm saying? Like, the boundaries of ratchet done. I don't. Yeah, winter is definitely coming. Throw some snow in the chat for the migrants. I'll tell you what though, it'll be a palm tree winter for a lot of them migrants if Trump and Vance get elected. It'll be a palm tree winter. You know what I'm saying? They ain't never seen no palm tree. They ain't never seen no palm tree winter before, but they're gonna definitely see one if Trump and them get in.
The sweep was conducted this afternoon with dozens of officers following a rash of incidents being reported at the shelter.
Fox 8's Morgan Mackay is live outside of the shelter. Morgan, what are police looking for?
Stephen, Natasha, the NY.
Why are you wild? We just got to ask this question. Why are y'all wilding out at the shelters? Like, this is something that shouldn't even have to be asked. You know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't have to ask nothing like this. Shouldn't have to ask no question like this. But we got to ask the question, though. We've got to ask the question like this. Why y'all wilding out on our taxpayer dollars, man? Like, why y'all doing this?
NYPD just wrapped up a raid here at the migrant shelter on Randall's Island, looking for weapons, mainly guns and drugs. Now, the NYPD spokesperson was telling me that pretty much what they did is they had a K9 unit walk up and down between the beds, and they had several what they call hits, which means that a dog found what's likely a weapon or drugs inside a bag. They wouldn't say how many hits or bags that they confiscated, but they took those bags, and then they are now going to obtain a search warrant to look inside those bags. Now, take a look at this video here. This is at 1 p.m. We arrived. The NYPD says that their operation began at 1 p.m. But as you can see, when we arrived here at approximately 1:05, there was already a full-blown operation underway.
I mean, they got a full-blown operation underway. I mean, this is just insanity. I mean, would you guys agree? Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Now, I got some comments over there on Rumble. I'm gonna read these comments on Rumble real quick. This individual FGC sucks says this is dumb. I'm not a racist. But grown men that can't be tracked coming over the border isn't good. I would agree with that. It's dangerous. I would agree with that. Send all the men back to their country and let them fight for what's theirs. I'm not mad at that comment. If y'all agree with that comment, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. The same person, FGC sucks, says, I don't mind if the women and babies stay, but all the males need to go back and come legally. I mean, I feel that, but honestly, everybody needs to come legally. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody needs to come legally. You know what I mean? FG sucks says, if Trump loses, we're screwed. I'll tell you what, if Harris and Walls win, this is just gonna be worse. They're gonna fling the door open and all these people just gonna come trucking in. It's gonna look like it's gonna look like how it looks like when it's like a concert and like all the like thirsty women is up in the front and they just, Chris Brown dancing or something, and a security guard happened to fall asleep and they just flood the stage. You know what I'm saying?
The NYPD had dozens of officers, canine units, and even deployed their drones. But this raid comes after several instances of violence at the shelter. Just this past Monday morning, a migrant woman was shot and killed outside the shelter, and 2 other people were wounded. There was also a stabbing inside the shelter in June, and there were also several fights that have broken out over the past.
They go to migrant mobile. All right, so they pulling the migrant mobile back, about to dust it for they're about to dust the migrant mobile for fingerprints. And I mean, again, what are you doing? What are you doing that this is going on all day, all doggone day? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then, like, I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but at some point, when are they going to put in consequences? Like, okay, y'all got to cut down on this crime. Y'all got to stop wilding out. We got these migrant shelters for y'all. We spending New York City people taxpayer dollars, and y'all are sitting here being a disgrace and acting a fool. If y'all don't cut down on some of this nonsense that y'all doing, we about to stop. We about to start cutting the spending. Because we're not going to spend money to do law enforcement on y'all, send y'all back, you know what I'm saying, and still continue to feed y'all. If y'all are not displaying that you can do what's necessary to be functional members of society while we're footing this bill, we're not going to continue to foot the bill. The fact that the United States government doesn't have the backbone to even do that, that's sending a message to the migrants that, yeah, you can just continue to just do whatever you want to, and it's not going to be a consequence. The only people that have to deal with consequences are Americans. People that come to the United States illegally don't have to deal with consequences, but people who have been paying taxes and their families who've been here for generations have to deal with consequences. None of this makes sense. None of this makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Last year or so. The city did recently install metal detectors. Now, here today, migrants tell me that police entered the shelter and told everyone to leave. Then they waited outside, and some of them are saying they weren't given any water or food while they waited. The Legal Aid Society and the Coalition for the Homeless releasing this statement in response, quote, temporarily displacing and conducting a police raid on 3,000 new arrivals despite today's heat advisory not only raises serious constitutional questions, but is draconian and fuels dangerous xenophobic sentiment. Treating people who have come here seeking asylum and safety like they are threats is incompetent.
Is that actually what they're doing? There's no evidence that these people are seeking asylum and safety. There's no evidence. These are assumptions that are being made. These are assumptions that are being made. You know what I'm saying? We don't know if these people are actually seeking asylum or not. Clearly, when they get here, they're not seeking asylum. If you're leaving a war zone and you get somewhere where it's kind of stable, and you turn that stable place into a war zone, well, maybe that's not what was going on here. Yeah, and I got to agree with Shatira. If you guys agree with Shatira, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shatira says, look, we don't know these people. Yeah. Yeah. And we definitely ain't. We're not only do we not know them, we're not gonna know them. Why? Because they don't have no damn documents.
Reprehensible in what is supposed to be a sanctuary city. Now, here is one migrant that I spoke with today.
Something like saying that, I don't know, like drugs or gun. I really don't know.
Now, as you can see, the migrants are being allowed inside right now. After about 3 hours, the NYPD is telling me that there are likely going to be no arrests made. They just want to get these weapons.
There's not going to be any arrests made. So now, again, we got to ask a very logical question. If there's not going to be any arrests made, right, then we can't really expect any kind of change. We shouldn't be expecting any change if they're not planning on making any arrests, right? Would you guys agree? I mean, I don't understand. Well, if they're not going to arrest anybody, like, what's the point in doing all this?
Going to be no arrests made. They just want to get these weapons and any drugs outside of the shelter. Reporting live, I'm Morgan McKay. Team Natasha, back to you.
All right, so there's that. All right, there's that. All right, let's see. So now we about to take a look at this. More people wilding out. More people wilding out. Okay. This individual right here said that this individual right here, I'm gonna just let y'all see it. Just let y'all see it.
To some breaking news now happening out of Brooklyn, where we have learned that the FBI arrested a Pakistani national accused of plotting to assassinate politicians in the U.S.
How many of y'all heard about this? Pakistani national here in the United States planning on taking out American politicians. If you guys heard about this particular situation, give me a thumbs up. If you guys did not hear about this particular situation, give me a thumbs down. They really got a lot of nerve. Got a lot of nerve.
To some breaking news now happening out of Brooklyn, where we have learned that the FBI arrested a Pakistani national accused of plotting to assassinate politicians in the U.S.
CBS 2's Dick Brennan live in our newsroom now with details on the investigation. Dick.
Well, Maurice and Christine, the suspect is in custody, accused of planning to assassinate current and former U.S. officials across the political spectrum. Sources tell us they include former President Trump. Now, the suspect is identified as 46-year-old Asif Merchant, a Pakistani national. They say Merchant planned the murder of U.S. government officials on American soil, and they say the alleged murder-for-hire plot is, quote, straight out of the Iranian playbook.
Like, I mean, I don't like, usually the politicians are very self-centered and like they only care about themselves. I don't know, you know what I'm saying, if they realize this or not, but by moving like this, they're not even keeping themselves safe. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all are so silly, you're not even keeping yourselves safe. Now what you've done is you've created this environment where you had these people that are hostile to the United States, hostile to American politicians, hostile to American people, come in here with plans to harm and delete people, including people who are politicians. As greedy and self-centered as most of you people are, you're not even protecting your own interest. And to me, if you've shown that you're incompetent and you're not capable of protecting your own interest, well, what time is it then, y'all? What time is it? What needs to be done? What needs to happen?
Plot is, quote, straight out of the Iranian playbook. But they say the hitmen that Merchant allegedly tried to hire were actually undercover FBI agents. U.S. officials say Merchant met with them in New York and paid them $5,000 in advance. But they say when Merchant tried to flee the U.S. in July, they arrested him before he could get out of the country.
Unbelievable. This is undoggone believable. Shout out to Tedra. Tedra says, on the earlier stream, you talked about the lady who was marked dead by SS office, and it took her almost a year to get it revolved. The illegals get to walk around with anyone knowing without anyone knowing who they are. Yeah, facts. If you guys agree with Tedra, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, then give me a thumbs down. Yeah, facts.
Officials say Merchant met with them in New York and paid them $5,000 in advance. But they say when Merchant tried to flee the U.S. in July, they arrested him before he could get out of the country. Merchant has stated that he has a wife and children in Iran and a wife and children in Pakistan. Now, the Justice Department has been working to stop Iran's efforts to retaliate against American public officials for the killing of Iranian General Soleimani. The FBI says it's continuing its investigation. In the newsroom, Dick Brennan, CBS 2 News.
Okay.
I mean, like, again, like that's as much as they try to blow that off. You know what I'm saying? As much as they try to blow that off, that's pretty serious. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty serious. Now, shout out to DeAndre. We got this video. We was gonna react to this Cass Jordan video, but I think we might be running out of time because I got another live stream scheduled at midnight, 12:55. Y'all know the usual time. So make sure that you watch the stream all the way through to the end, so it'll take you right into that stream that's scheduled for later on tonight. All right. We're gonna look at that. We're gonna look at that Cass Jordan stream another time. Very, very soon, though. It's not gonna get forgotten. We're gonna look at it. We just ain't gonna look at it right now. All right. What we about to do now is we about to take a look at this Northern Border video. Northern Border Part 1 and Northern Border Part 2, which I think is what Cass Jordan based his video on. Now, we've talked about the Northern Border before. You guys remember that insanity that took place at the Northern Border when that car flew up off that ramp like the Stunticons? If you guys remember that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't, give me a thumbs down. And there was also a situation where there was a Romanian burglary ring, and those people came in through the Northern Border. For whatever reason, Not a lot of coverage is being done on the northern border, but a lot of criminals, organized criminals, are coming in through the northern border, and nothing's really being done about it. Nothing's really being done about it.
Under the cover of darkness, people emerging from a vehicle after it pulls up to a gas station in Plattsburgh, a city in Clinton County, New York. It's located more than 300 miles from New York City and less than 30 miles from the Canadian border.
Hi, sir. Where are you coming from? I'm a journalist. Where are you coming from? You came from Canada?
My questions met with silence.
Tell us where you're coming from.
I'm not trying to be funny, but why would you come to the United States from Canada? Like, you don't, like, Canada not bad. Like, you don't need to escape. No one needs to escape persecution in Canada. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just keep it a buck. How many people agree? You know what I'm saying? And there's Canadian people that watch the channel. You know what I'm saying? They could, you know what I'm saying? They could vouch me on that. What kind of persecution going on in Canada do you need to escape? It don't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's watching. We got 36 people watching and we got 54 likes. Let's try to get the likes to 84 by the end of the stream.
Reluctance.
Ma'am, where are you coming from? Can you tell me?
And refusal.
No, you don't want to talk?
They start walking away and we follow them.
Sir, can we talk to you? Can you tell me where you're coming from? I'm a
Yeah, shout out to Lala Papa. I actually got some stuff queued up about that situation in the UK, and we're going to definitely be trying to go into that. It's a lot of stuff happening right now that I'm trying to stay organized and stay on, and y'all are definitely helping me do that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to definitely try to do that. I have some stuff queued up, but I might not be able to do it tonight. But I'm gonna definitely try to do it. You know, it might either be later on, or it might be at some point tomorrow. But we definitely gonna talk about that because it's wild. And Elon Musk is crashing out over that. I don't know if y'all heard, but your boy Elon Musk, he crashing out over that hard. You know what I'm saying?
Journalist. We're doing a story on people crossing the border.
We are coming from India.
Can you show me the document?
No, ma'am.
The letterhead identifies the document at a glance. It's from the federal government. The kind of document given to asylum seekers.
What did they say to you?
After crossing the border illegally.
At the border, what did they say?
Nothing.
You crossed the border, the Canadian border?
Yes.
How long did it take to walk across the border?
Ma'am, this is the main person is this.
Okay, one more question. Are you going to New York City?
Yeah.
And that's how we finally confirmed where at least one of them is going. The gas station is called Mountain Mart. It's also a bus stop here in upstate New York, and we've confirmed well known around here as a meeting place for migrants after crossing the northern border. About 20 miles from here and closer to Canada, the town of Champaign.
Well. Check that out. So Cori Bush is out. Cori Bush is out, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let me ask you guys this question. How did that there it is? That's in real time right there. So to me, all right, now mind you, I'm not a Cori Bush fan, right? But they basically paid to get her out. Would y'all agree? So now why am I saying that? I'm saying that because of this. The very people who talk about democracy not being, us being at risk of losing democracy or something. If you ask me, this right here is clear evidence that we for real don't have democracy. A foreign entity literally paid to basically get a U.S. politician ousted. Basically. Now, Trump ain't even in office, and we got this going on, and they talking about threats to democracy. Yeah, so if you guys agree with Hurricane, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Now, shout out to Tedra. Tedra says only 51% of the votes are in. Now, here's my thing, right? If the distribution is equal for the most part and everything stays, proportionately consistent, that's a good enough sample of votes to basically say Bush is out. You know what I'm saying? Would you guys agree? So yeah, that's very interesting. Also, extremely problematic. And now here's what's even more problematic about it. It's just not going to get addressed. Who's going to address it? What's going to happen? Nothing's going to happen. They're going to go and do it again if they need to. You know what I'm saying?
Champlain, where town supervisor Thomas Tremblay regularly deals with complaints from people about migrants on their property.
To me, it's like a back door.
A back door into the United States, he says. While our eyes look at the flow of people crossing the southern border, here locals will tell you an alternate route into the U.S. through Canada is becoming more popular for people who are desperate to get into the country.
We've seen.
So as you guys can see here, do you guys remember we talked about the northern border on this channel? Okay? We talked about the northern border on this channel. People ain't really talking about the northern border. Now it's gotten progressively so bad that now they're bringing light to it. Now they're bringing light to it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Alpha. Alpha says, Black Light Revelations, not to get off topic, but will you be going back to your BLR Tales from the Cryptocurrency anytime soon? Absolutely, bro. The only thing that there is just a time constraint for me. You know what I'm saying? But absolutely, I definitely am going to be doing that. On BLR 1 and on BLR 2 and on the Tales from the Cryptocurrency channel. So I will definitely be doing that. If one of the mods could put the link for the Tales from the Cryptocurrency channel in the chat, I would appreciate it. Make sure that you guys sub that channel so you don't miss anything. All right. For the cryptocurrency people, if you're not into cryptocurrency, you're not into investments or anything like that, you know what I'm saying? Don't worry about it. But if you are into that kind of stuff, make sure that you click that link for the Tales from the Cryptocurrency channel when the mods put it in, and make sure that you're subbed up with the bell hit twice for that channel. And we don't get to talk about crypto like all the time because of like all the other stuff that I be trying to cover. But daily, we talk about crypto in the Discord. We talk about cryptocurrency daily in the Discord. So if you're part of the Discord, you definitely will not miss out, even on stuff that we're not able to make videos on. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not part of the Discord, make sure that you take a moment and join that Discord. The Discord link is pinned in the chat. And if that doesn't work, you know what I'm saying, then make sure that you ask one of the mods and they'll put the link in the chat. And see, shout out to my man Hurricane. Hurricane said, y'all convinced me with the crypto stuff in the Discord. Yeah. And we be going hard with talking about crypto in the Discord. There's more discussions in the crypto, in the Discord about crypto than what I can keep up with as far as making videos and making content. You know what I'm saying?
4, 6, or 8 individuals walking down one of our town roads or village streets.
It's a regular thing.
It's become a regular thing, yes.
I got them on my cameras all the time, going through the woods.
These images from Joe Ashland's deer camera.
They're not shy. They just walk down the street.
He says migrants end up around his home all the time.
You got to lock everything. Years ago, you never locked any doors around here, but now you do.
Have you ever had to place a call to Border Patrol?
Oh, plenty of times.
People around here tell us placing calls to Border Patrol is a regular thing.
Across the road from my house, they come over the hill. Canada is only a 10-minute walk.
Alan Racine lives right by the northern border.
So now, again, if you ask me, on the campaign trail, these presidential candidates, they really, really, really need to be addressing what it is that they plan on doing to deal with this kind of stuff. They really need to be addressing what they plan on doing with this kind of stuff. And if they don't address it, I don't really think that they deserve anybody's attention. Shout out to my man Soapbox Moments. What's good with it, bro?
It was a family. There was 5 of them. There was a husband and wife, a teenager, and 2 little ones. And I talked to them. I couldn't understand the word they said. So I asked them if they needed a bottle of water. It was really hot out. I said, need water or something? And all I seen was the little girl go like this.
Yeah.
She was hungry.
He works in the town of Champlain as a highway superintendent.
Water's right over here.
And took us on a drive.
You walk right across.
We went through a cemetery where he says you can often find evidence of people moving through.
Normally when you come down here, sometimes you'll see clothes right on here on the cement here.
Man, crossing the border at night through a cemetery, yo, that's wild, man. That's wild. At night with the fog going through that old school cemetery to get to the United States, man, what? That's a wild situation.
Stretching more than 5,500 miles long, the northern border is the longest land border in the world, more than twice as long as the southern border. Here, there are no walls, fences, or major barriers. There is a lot of open land.
Walking through grass and surrounded by tall trees, there are many places for migrants to hide, and that's how many of them are navigating the northern border undetected.
In a statement to Fox 5 News, a spokesperson for U.S. Customs and Border Protection said, "We have seen an increase by USBP in apprehensions of individuals unlawfully crossing the northern border. We looked at the data and found a sharp increase in the number of encounters Border Patrol is having with people illegally crossing from Canada. This fiscal year so far, as of June, 16,459 and counting. The number already exceeding last fiscal year with a total of 10,021 encounters. In 2020,
now, once they start, look, man, I'm telling you, once they start figuring this out and people start taking this route and they get some cartel members positioned on the northern border and they start filtering this information through TikTok, these numbers are about to skyrocket. Listen, and I'm going to tell you what else. If Harris and Walls win and they're and the cartels and stuff like that are able to mobilize around the northern border, woo, man, these numbers here are about to skyrocket. It's about to skyrocket. There's nothing stopping these. It's just nothing but open air. It's not even set like, at the very least, it's set up like a border at this, you know what I'm saying? With being able to get in and out, you know, at the southern border. There's not even like any type of barriers set up at the northern border. This is just going to be a hot mess. Would you guys, if you guys agree, this is just going to be a hot mess, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down.
Border Patrol agents apprehended just over 2,000 people crossing the northern border illegally, and in 2021, the number was only 916. And while the numbers of those crossing from the north illegally pale in comparison to what's happening at the southern border, with Border Patrol coming into contact with more than 1 million crossing illegally this fiscal year so far, and more than 2 million on record last year and the year before, we've learned there is deep concern about the influx.
The numbers are surging because it is easy.
Around here, law enforcement regularly assists Border Patrol.
See, so it's already happening. Like, it's already happening. Dude said that the numbers are increasing. The numbers are surging already because it's easy. You know what I'm saying? The numbers are surging already because it's easy. So now my question is, what do they plan on doing to increase the difficulty so that people ain't able to just come in like this? You know what I'm saying? They got to do something. And real quick, shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed that like button yet, please help me out. Take a moment, smash that like button. We're doing good. Let's try to get to 90 before the end of the stream. If you haven't shared the video from wherever you're watching from, please take a moment. Make sure that you guys do that. And like I said, it's a good experience. Make sure you guys join Discord.
With Border Patrol coming into contact with more than 1 million crossing illegally this fiscal year so far, and more than 2 million on record last year and the year before, we've learned there is.
I'm so mad, Alonda. It's been so much going on. Believe it or not, it's been so much going on with C-19. It's been going on. There's been stuff going on so much with all the topics that I cover. It's been hard for me to be able to keep up with like everything. I got to try to prioritize everything. And I'm still like crazy behind on all kind of stuff, even as much streaming as I've been doing. You know what I'm saying? It's wild. And another thing that I've been trying to do is I'm trying to get reacts back monetized. And I think I might mess around and end up having to delete all the videos on reacts. And the reason why is because they don't like when they demonetize it for reused content, which I don't know why they did that. They don't tell you what was the content that was in violation. Like, it doesn't say anything. So like I've been like randomly deleting videos. Like I deleted all the shorts because I thought it was a short. It wasn't a short, you know what I'm saying? So I gotta try to mess with that. But once I get that either all together, then I'm gonna have to delete everything and figure that back out. But I'm trying to get some C19 videos popping because again, you wouldn't think so, but believe it or not, it's all kind of stuff going on with C19. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Jesse. What's good with it, bro? I miss reacts too. I used to love doing reacts, bro. I'm so irritated that they did that to that channel because there was no reused content on there. Like, I don't know what they was talking about, and I appealed it, and they still said like, nah, y'all, it's reused content on there, and we keeping the monetization off. Like, there's nothing reused. How is a channel that's all live streams, you know what I'm saying, reused content? Like, it don't make no sense, but it is what it is. We're gonna figure it back out and get it back together. Yo, and shout out to the C19 channel. If y'all not subscribed to the C19 channel, if one of the mods could put the link in the chat so people can go over there and subscribe so they don't miss nothing, that'd be great.
Deep concern about the influx.
The numbers are surging because it is easy.
Around here, law enforcement regularly assists Border Patrol.
With the border as it is, the Border Patrol is just flat out understaffed on the northern border. They have long stretches of border that they just don't have enough people to cover.
Major Nicholas Leon is a chief.
I didn't hear about that, bro. That might have been on it might have been on one of the them folks over there episodes, because I ain't trying to be funny, but that happens all the time, you know what I'm saying? That happens all the time. That familicide be going down, you know what I'm saying? But if y'all see stuff like that, make sure that y'all throw it in the Discord or tag me in it on Twitter, you know what I'm saying? And I'll try to, you know what I'm saying, get it out there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, shout out to Carlos. Yeah, bro, reacts used to be hilarious, bro. Once we get it back monetized, or once I figure out what's going on, we're gonna definitely get it back together. It's just a matter of time, and YouTube be on some nonsense. You know what I'm saying? But that's another thing y'all need to do, is make sure y'all subscribe to Reacts, because we're gonna get it back together, and once we get it back together, it's gonna be good.
Deputy with the Clinton County Sheriff's Office.
There's been a large influx of people, and probably through
I don't know what they mean. Like what they usually mean is like they'll say that you've taken somebody's content and re-uploaded it. Like all you did was like you downloaded a video and then re-uploaded a video, but onto your account. We never did that though, because all of our videos was all live streams. You know what I'm saying? All of our videos was all live streams. So I don't know why they said that. But we're going to figure it out, though. We're going to get it together. And then once we get it together, we're going to try to start back. But it's just like, come on, man.
You know, organized crime it's making money off it and you know, funneling these people through this particular area, because out of the entire northern border, it's the easiest through metropolitan areas in Canada where they can fly into. And it's easiest to cross the border with a huge pipeline directly down to New York City.
You find a lot of them are headed to New York City?
Yes. Yep.
We've learned there is coordination between U.S. and Canadian officials. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police confirming to Fox 5 News human.
That's what was crazy. They didn't even hit us with a strike. We didn't even get a strike. You know what I'm saying? We had logged on one day. We was about to go live, and then like we didn't have monetization, and they demonetized your channel for reused content, and we was like, what? We didn't get no strike. We didn't get no warning. We didn't get none of that, because we didn't even have no warnings on the channel. Because like how it works is, if you don't have any warnings, your first strike is a warning, and then you get 3 strikes after your first strike. But if you get a strike, you can eliminate that strike by doing a training, and it falls off in 30 days. But we didn't have any strikes, and without no strikes or anything, they just demonetized the channel. They said that we had too much reused content. And I'm like, nothing's reused though. Like, what are y'all talking about? You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, like I said, we're gonna have to delete all the videos, right? But the videos will not be deleted, because we simultaneously streamed them. So if you ever want to watch replays of Reacts, they're in 3 different places. You can watch the replays for Reacts on Rumble, on my Rumble channel. You can watch them on Grind and Motivate's channel if you subscribe to Grind and Motivate, or you can watch them on We Lit's channel. You know what I'm saying? Those are places that you could watch the reacts replays. You know what I'm saying? Since I got, I'm gonna probably end up having to delete them all off of reacts.
When smugglers are selling the journey south to migrants.
We know that there are human smuggling operations going on. We have active investigations on the matter. We've also arrested and charged a few smugglers recently. But the reality is that just by the sheer volume of migrants, this is a highly sophisticated operation that we're talking about.
The pattern all too familiar. The federal government has long documented human smugglers working at the southern border, exploiting migrants who are willing to do almost anything to get to America. U.S. Customs and Border Protection on record with information like this. Transnational criminal organizations pose significant dangers to migrants as they not only seek to profit from their exploitation, but also have little regard for their well-being, exposing them to violent encounters, injury, and death. Here in upstate New York, the dangers of crossing the border are apparent.
The terrain's pretty rugged. It's cedar. It's thick, you know, swampy. And they got to go through that.
I personally have.
I mean, again, they don't have to go through that if they just come in legally, right? They don't have to come. They don't have to deal with that if they just come to this bad boy legally. But they don't want to come in legally. You know what I'm saying?
Worked on an investigation of a migrant coming through in the winter. She ended up getting in a high water area, ended up drowning.
But not enough to deter the growing flow of migrants who are after that American dream.
They just want to go to New York City.
For many, New York City is where they believe they'll find it, regardless of the risk and the price.
How are you feeling right now?
I don't know.
Are you happy?
Yeah, happy.
You're happy?
Yeah.
Stephanie Bertini, Fox 5 News.
How did they be having all these rides and stuff like that pre-set up? You know what I'm saying? Like, they be having these rides. They got these rides all set up. It's a black SUV coming to pick you up. Like, bro, how? You literally just got into the country. Now, mind you, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't speak English. You don't know anything. You don't know where anything is at. But somehow you got this ride set up. Like, just a lot of this stuff is counterintuitive. And a lot of this stuff just doesn't make sense. And then when you try to put it together or try to get some answers, you got the mainstream media coming at you, sitting up there talking about is dis or misinformation. You know what I'm saying? Don't make it make sense. Shout out to my man, Carlton Way. Carlton Way said, man, listen, we know how. Right. Right. You know what I'm saying? We know how.
Mountain Mark.
Are you family?
No. A gas station here in New York State near the Canadian border.
Excuse me, can we speak to you, please?
Where we spent time over the course of 3 days asking questions.
Excuse me, where are you coming from?
Right. I'm not trying to be funny, but like this news reporter, I don't know if she's trying to get some type of, I don't know if she's trying to get a promotion or she doing the most and she not really taking her own safety into consideration. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, relax, lady. Like, you doing too much. You dealing with shady people. You all over their face like, hi, how you doing? Like, man, listen, you setting yourself up for a bad situation. It don't matter how many bills you got to pay. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't matter how down bad you are. No promotion is worth that. No promotion is worth that. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't go this hard in the paint for no reason. This is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Lala Papa. Lala Papa says the real question should be, how did the news van keep pulling up just right when those buses pulled up? Yeah, exactly. Probably some of them people that work on the news crew illegal too. Some of the camera people, and they probably know, yeah, hey, it's supposed to be a van pulling up at 7 o'clock. We can go reach it for a story if you want to. You know what I'm saying? Slide them a couple extra dollars for some leads. You know how I go.
Where are you from? India. How did you get here?
Shooting video day and night.
Are you guys?
Uh-oh, you see that? They from India. Like the passport prez. The passport prez. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man K.A. What's good with it, K.A.? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Good to see you, bro. I'm glad you enjoy. The passport presidents, right? Trump and Vance, they have Vance has an Indian wife. The passport president, you know what I'm saying? What's her name? Kamala Harris, right? She got some passport parents. A lot of Indians. Vivek Ramaswamy, Nikki Haley. So, but they up here at the gas station with the traditional migrants. It's interesting.
Where we spent time over the course of 3 days asking questions.
Excuse me, where are you coming from? Where are you from? India. How did you get here?
Shooting video day and night.
Are you guys picking up the people that are crossing the border?
No.
And observing, finding details.
Them dudes lying. No, I don't know what you're talking about. Y'all can barely speak English. Sitting up there lying. Oh man! Shout out to my man Jay Bird. What's good with it, bro? Yeah, they barely speak English. Sitting up here lying.
Crossing the border?
No.
And observing, finding details in something as small as a shoe.
Were you walking? Yes. Oh my God, it's dangerous. Very dangerous.
We confirmed this is the meeting point for migrants after crossing the Canadian border on foot.
Where are you going now?
New York.
New York City.
Yeah.
We spotted a New York City yellow taxi cab more than a 5-hour drive away from home. We're told taxi, rideshare, and private drivers are all part of the plan to get migrants from here to New York City.
So how are they working with the taxi drivers? And look, see, they lucky. I bet you they I bet you they turned in the license plate number and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, what? Shout out to Mike. Yeah, exactly, bro. Mike says, I could have sworn India was #1 in the world, according to some of them. Gasp. Right. Right. And they all in it together. You see how they said this in the video? They're all in this scheme together.
New York.
New York City.
Yeah.
We spotted a New York City yellow taxi cab more than a 5-hour drive away from home. We're told taxi, rideshare, and private drivers are all part of the plan to get migrants from here to New York City. One driver agreed to share details if we protect his identity.
How much is the going rate?
Price. Some people they charge 150, 130, 135.
That's what they're gonna call
Per
it.
person?
Yeah.
How do they find?
Shout out to Volvo. That's exactly what they're gonna call it. Uber Ground Railroad. Yeah, and shout out to Cameron. A lot of the taxi drivers are foreigners. Bro, that was one of the things that was culture shock when I had first went to New York City. All them taxi drivers, and didn't nobody speak English. And this was a long time ago. Didn't nobody speak English? That was so weird to me. No one spoke English. This is what I be telling y'all about how like it's different cultures. Like I'm from the Midwest, the Steel Belt Midwest. When I went to New York and didn't nobody speak English, like I'm not even going, like I got scared. Like I'm not used to that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, man, what's going on? Like, don't nobody understand? Like, no one understands English. This is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? When you're young, like you don't understand a lot of things. Then you grow up and like, you know what I'm saying? You get it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Jay Bird, man. Something for the black lights. Yo, I appreciate it. Make sure y'all show Jay Bird some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for my man Blaybird. For my man Blaybird, my man Jay Bird funding the organization.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
Definitely appreciate you, bro.
Find you.
Everybody driver, they park the car here. Everybody know. Some people they go by bus.
This gas station is also a bus stop. In the middle of the night, we watched a mother and her children get on a bus headed to New York City. She didn't want us to show her face.
¿De dónde vienes, amiga?
De Venezuela.
In Spanish, she told me they're from Venezuela and in search of a better life.
See, they're from Venezuela. Now, again, when it comes to that Tren de Agua and all that, it's a lot of these, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the quote unquote violent folks, right? Like a lot of the violent people, a lot of them violent people are from Venezuela. A lot of them violent folks come from Venezuela. You know what I'm saying?
The pursuit of the American dream has long been documented as the fuel for the illegal journey countless migrants keep making into the U.S. While the focus has long been on the porous southern border, our camera is pointed north as we move through a part of northeast New York in Clinton County, right by the northern border's edge.
So now, again, you guys know, if you're part of the Discord or if you follow me on Twitter or whatever, if you guys see any stories about any of this stuff, but especially about the northern borders, please make sure that you guys shoot it to me. Like I said, we're about to try to be, you know what I'm saying, be on this a little bit more scheduled and, you know what I'm saying, get this information out.
Here, instead of walls and fences, you can find open land. Border barriers like these cement blocks are few and far between.
Farms and small towns line the northern border here in northeast New York. This boundary marker divides the U.S. from Canada. And from the looks of it here, walking across is actually quite doable.
These people are putting themselves at risk trying to do that. It is extremely dangerous.
Major Nicholas Leon, chief deputy at the Clinton County Sheriff's Office, is
Yeah,
often
shout out
called
to Jay
to assist Border
Burbo,
Patrol
bro. I
agents.
appreciate it. Yeah, our Discord is not messy. There's no drama. You know what I'm saying? And we be having like actual conversations to like try to make things pop. So, you know what I'm saying? We definitely, the Discord is always hiring. Shout out to the TCU. The TCU is always hiring. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all become a part. Be active.
We found people frozen on the border. I've literally watched the Border Patrol carry an elderly woman out of the woods whose feet were frozen. And that risk is worth it to them.
He wasn't surprised when we told him about that yellow taxi cab we saw. Its medallion, we later confirmed, traces back to the city.
We're well aware of the yellow cabs. We're aware there is a border operation to pick people up.
And there's money to make.
There's always money to be made.
Canadian law enforcement confirming human smugglers are behind it all. And like at the southern border, transnational crime is part of the whole picture.
We have relevant intelligence that the Mexican cartels are involved in human smuggling operations in Canada. We've known that for quite some time. So we do know that the Mexican cartels are involved in this, but there are also other organized crime groups. Some of them are located here in Canada, and we have active investigations to uncover that, you know, who's behind it.
Stretching more than 5,500 miles, the northern border is the longest land border in the world, more than twice as long as the southern border.
The Discord is called Reacts. And it's all good. Lala, we don't usually shout out to AJ that AJ just joined. We don't usually do the voice chats. We might one of these days, but you know what I'm saying, we don't really be doing it all like that. But that's not stopping y'all. Like if y'all wanted to do it, you know what I'm saying, like y'all can. I just don't never really be hosting them because you know what I'm saying, I'll be busy around that time of night when I'm free. But here I'm gonna put the link in the chat, so make sure y'all hit that link. If it don't work, let me know. All right. Let me see. And y'all could get, it's also pinned in the comment section. It should work. If that link don't work, then this one should. All right.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection declined our request for an interview about the northern border. But in a statement, a spokesperson said, U.S. Border Patrol works with our federal and international partners to combat human smuggling. Data shows an increase in the number of people Border Patrol agents are catching crossing the northern border illegally. We crunched the numbers. It's an increase of almost 1,000% from 2021 to 2023. And this
is an increase. Look at this. So it's an increase going on of about 1,000%, right? So imagine this, right? With that increase of 1,000%. And again, this is why I keep asking the question, what do y'all think will happen? What do y'all think will happen based on whichever candidate gets elected? See, that's the $1 million question. That right there, that's the $1 million question.
At human smuggling, data shows an increase in the number of people Border Patrol agents are catching crossing the northern border illegally. We crunched the numbers. It's an increase of almost 1,000% from 2021 to 2023. And this year, the numbers are still trending up. According to US CBP records, the migrants crossing illegally from Canada are primarily coming from India. Mexican nationals are among the highest numbers, but there are people from all different parts of the
shout out to Jay Bird. Yeah, that's facts. Jay Bird says, even if you don't say anything, you will learn something from the chats. Yeah, I agree. Big facts. And another thing, y'all know how I like to take the little unannounced LOAs from YouTube. Even if I take a little unannounced LOA, like if I don't post for a month or like if I don't post for like 2 weeks or something like that, like how I'd be doing, I'll always for the most part be active at some point during the day on Discord. So you know what I'm saying, like, you know, we posting articles and stuff like that. So even if I don't do no content, still it goes down in Discord. So that's another reason why it's important to join that Discord. You know what I'm saying?
world, including Romania, Guatemala, Haiti, and Venezuela. Canadian law enforcement telling us they're often sold the American dream by smugglers in their home countries.
If we're looking at the Indian nationals, we know that they're being recruited in India and that they're being.
Hey, they got the Chads. They got the Chads for Harris, right? Shout out to the people that just joined. Let me see. Hold on. Make sure y'all show Vovo some love, throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Vovo for joining, and AJ. Both of them just joined. So make sure both, and again, it's free also. You don't have to, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to pay or nothing like that. Now, my advice to everybody, do not download the app. Use a browser window on your computer. Do not download the app. Don't download it onto your phone. Your notifications will be going off like crazy. If you have a computer and you keep your computer on, just open up a browser window and use your computer with the browser window opened up. Don't download the app on your computer. Don't download the app onto your phone. That would be my advice. You know what I'm saying? That would be my advice. And as you guys can see, everybody getting greeted when y'all get in there is active all the time. We have a good time. So, you know what I'm saying?
Explain what to do.
According to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, migrants are flying to Canadian cities like Montreal and Toronto, where they can enter as tourists and or without a visa. They're being guided to the border's edge and walking across. The RCMP learning details from those they've caught.
They've basically been explained how to cross and what to say. Most of them, when we intercept them, they're very cooperative. Obviously, they're scared. And when we ask them, they will often say that they have spent hundreds and thousands of dollars per person.
No, you could just go, if you go to Discord, I think it's like discord.com, you could just log in like you logging in on a website. I wouldn't download the app onto the computer, and I wouldn't download the app onto the phone. I don't think you can use the phone browser, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even really have no social media on my phone. You know what I'm saying? Social media ain't, you know what I'm saying? It ain't an emergency. But if you have a computer and you use a computer, I would just say like log in and you could just keep the browser window open so that you could get notifications, but don't download the app, because otherwise your notifications will be going crazy and you'll be like, what? You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? You don't need to be dealing with all them notifications. It's kind of ridiculous. You know what I'm saying?
Cross.
Janet McFetridge is the mayor of the village of Champlain.
There you go.
Right by Canada. While she knows.
Oh, there you go. So we just, if y'all haven't seen that video, if y'all didn't see that video that I did about Cori Bush, go watch that video that I did about Cori Bush. Vovo said the Discord app is like Temu. Go watch that video that I did about Cori Bush. Shout out to Tedra with the update. Tedra said Wesley Bell wins the Missouri primary. Now, here goes my question. What does that tell you? Did AIPAC buy that victory? Did they buy Bell that position? If they did, give me a thumbs up. If you guys feel like they did, give me a thumbs up. If you feel like they didn't, then give me a thumbs down.
The migrants are being exploited by human smugglers.
I've seen families and children. Really? Mm-hmm. I've seen single mothers.
She says the illegal movement at the northern border is leading to fear among those who live here.
They're coming right into people's backyards. Sometimes.
Yo, make sure y'all show Lala Papa some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Lala Papa. He just joined the Discord. Good to see you in there, bro.
Show up in their sheds, their barns, on porches, knocking on doors, leaving items behind, some clothing. I mean, people are terrified.
Law enforcement on both sides of the border says people on both sides are battling the kind of fear that comes with the unknown. And they say it's warranted when it comes to the big picture. For officials, the big question in the face of the surge is who else or what else is crossing illegally.
It's not the families that are seeking asylum. It's not the people trying to avoid these horrific actions in their own countries. It's the people that want to bring that violence here.
We've talked about a lot of, migration issues. There's also contraband, firearms, drugs, tobacco. So when our patrol officers are responding to a call, they can never assume that it's going to be an illegal migration.
So this is a national security issue for both the Canadian and the U.S. government.
Yes.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection telling us Clinton County sits in what Border Patrol calls its Swanton sector. The area includes other parts of New York State, as well as Vermont and New Hampshire. In fiscal year 2023, 6,925 migrants were caught crossing the border illegally. In a statement, U.S. Customs and Border Protection said that's the most in Swanton sector history.
Now, here's the thing. We got to ask these questions when it comes to these migrant situations and these records being broken. And these are the quote unquote most in history and different things like that. Under whose administration is this stuff happening in? So what we've got to start doing is we've got to start doing some really, really tight accounting, right? And we're going to do this tight accounting. And what we're going to do is we're going to attribute these things to where they go. Why is it that under these particular administrations, all of this stuff is happening at such a crazy rate? It doesn't make any sense. It does make sense, right? We know why.
A 550% increase over 2022 when the number sat at 1,065. And so, getting back to the Mountain Mark gas station.
No fees, no fees.
No.
Despite the reluctance of many,
How much to come from Canada? When you walk from Canada, do they charge you?
Yes.
How much you pay?
after days of work here,
¿Qué te dice a la frontera?
it's now clear as day to us
Most of the people, they come from Canada.
that there's much more to know about the pipeline bringing migrants into the country through Canada.
Hello, sir. Can you tell us where you're headed? We saw
Hey, it's wild how boldly rude a lot of these people are at times.
you before, right? Are you going to New York City?
And straight
Hey, that dude was gas station rude, man. That dude was gas station rude.
to the country through Canada.
Hello, sir. Can you tell us where you're headed?
It's like, hey, man. Yeah, facts. Shout out to Hurricane. If y'all agree with Hurricane, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Gas station rude, man. You know what I'm saying?
We saw you before, right? Are you going to New York City?
And
oh, man. Yo, man, that's terrible, man. So look, check this out, right? You guys, everybody knows about the viral moments that Trump had when he was being interviewed by those journalists, right? The black journalists in Chicago, right? Chicago Tribune comes out with this article. I don't know if anybody saw it or not. Trump sought to pit black Americans against migrants in Chicago. It's part of an ongoing GOP tactic. Now, here's my question. Trump does what Trump does. You know what I'm saying? Trump is one of them people that's a wild horse. Trump might do something that's completely crazy, and out of the craziness, you can find a benefit from it. Sometimes he just does stuff and you just kind of shake your head and keep it moving, right? Now, let's talk about stuff that Trump didn't do. What about competing for voting districts in Chicago? And you got the black Chicago Congressional Caucus fighting with the Hispanic Congressional Caucus in Chicago over voting districts to try to get majority districts. Did Trump have anything to do with that? So what it seems like is that when it comes to Chicago, or when it comes to a lot of these different places, black people have been competing with, right, or in some sort of, maybe silent competition with these people, migrants, other people, for resources for a very long time before Trump ever arrived on the scene. Dr. Claude Anderson was talking about this very phenomenon a while ago. Would you guys agree? So I find it very interesting that the Chicago Tribune decided to write this article and phrase this like this. Okay. During Donald Trump's Wednesday visit to Chicago, the former Republican president was asked why he came. I don't even know why they asked him why he came. Like they asked a lot of weird and redundant questions. Why did you come? I thought he was invited. He didn't just show up there, right? He was invited. I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. They literally invited him to come, and he showed up. Why weren't they asking the question, why didn't Kamala Harris show up? Why are you here? I don't know, because I got an envelope in the mail that said, check this box if you plan on coming, and my schedule was free that day, and I came. I don't know, because, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to run for president, and I got a bunch of people calling me racist all the time. And, I'm crazy. You know what I'm saying? I probably don't think the best of black people, but, you know, I want to win the election and I want to try to convince black people that I'm a safe vote. So I'm going to come and talk to y'all. I don't know. I mean, to me, like, that seems like probably what the scenario was. You know what I'm saying? My message is to stop people. Look at this. My message is to stop people from invading our country that are taking, frankly, a lot of problems with it. Trump said while addressing a panel at the National Association of Black Journalists. I will tell you that coming from the border are millions and millions of people that happen to be taking black jobs. Okay. So now again, we've got the outrage. We got the black job outrage, right? And we already talked about the black job thing. The black job thing is real. You know what I'm saying? What Trump said was accurate, and that's just the end of it. The mainstream media may not like it. The people who are part of the larger Democrat organization, you know, the larger Democrat initiatives and shills, they may not like those facts, right? But the facts of the matter, right? The facts of the matter is that the black job talking point sticks. It's real. There's evidence that backs it up. And it just is what it is. There's nothing anybody can do about it, except for if we're going to do something about it, there needs to be something done to control immigration to deal with part of these things. Now, we've talked about this before, dealing with immigration. If immigration just stopped tomorrow, we're still not out of the woods because the artificial intelligence automation is coming for the same sector of jobs that the immigrants would be in competition for, right? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. So now here it says, while he did not mention Chicago by name, looming over his answer was the years-long migrant crisis that has deeply affected the fiber of the nation's third largest city and becoming a lightning rod for debate here over immigration policy under President Biden. It's part of a recent, now here they go, it's part of a recent tactic the GOP has especially directed at black voters in attempt to lay the problem at the feet of the Democrats. This is not true. Again, this is how dishonest these people are, and this is how disconnected these people are. Let me ask you guys this question. How long has Dr. Claude Anderson been lecturing people about the dangers and the existential threats that an endless influx of migrants and migrants being funded by U.S. taxpayer dollars presents, specifically as it affects black people? How long has that been going on? Trump also leaned on a narrative of racial tension when questioning Vice President Kamala Harris's identity as a biracial woman, which she doesn't identify as a biracial woman. She keeps saying that she's black, generating his biggest controversy of the event. Okay, so again, what we're doing here is we're just gaslighting and acting like we don't understand what's going on and what's being said. But it's okay, though. It doesn't matter if they're doing that. We got mainstream media, or we got media outlets. We got independent people, you know what I'm saying, like me, talking about this kind of stuff to bring more perspectives to it, right? But throughout the half-hour performance, the former president sought to bring the conversation back to immigration and warned that the black population is affected most by that. Now, again, would you agree with this or would you disagree? Listen, whoever does Trump's research, when the information that they equip Trump with for when he's talking to black people, his team does a good job of prepping him. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. It's fascinating to have Trump in a conversation with black people. I'm just gonna verbally diarrhea all of these issues that y'all have that everybody else ignores, but I'm gonna just talk about this like windows open, curtains blowing. Here it is. Immigrants affect black jobs. Stuff that's not supposed to be said. I'm gonna just lay it out there. Now the media scrambling, trying to hide all this, and basically are lying about the problems affecting us while they're sitting there calling Trump a liar. And we've got like 30 years of data backing up some of the talking points that Trump is using. It's a really, really interesting phenomenon. And honestly, I know this is crazy and this is a twist of logic, but all of the media all of the media attempts to misconstrue things that Trump said. Every item that the media has attempted to misconstrue what Trump has said is literally Trump addressing damn near a benign neglect talking point. So it's almost like Trump knows about the benign neglect issue, and anytime I get in front of a camera, I'm just going to blurt out a benign neglect issue, and I'm going to sit back and watch as it creates chaos, and the liberal media got to scramble to blatantly lie about these people that they claim that they're helping. It's a very fascinating phenomenon. I don't know if anybody ever really thought about it like that, or if anybody ever pictured it like that, but when it comes to Trump addressing Black audiences, my question for you guys is, out of the things that he says that become controversy, which of those have not been benign neglect talking points? Literally all of those things are benign neglect issues. Immigrants are going to kill Black jobs. You know what I'm saying? Kamala Harris, I didn't know she was Black. There's a lot of people that come here, I don't know if they're Black. I mean, like, I don't know where he gets his talking points. You know, they got the Manhattan Institute and the Heritage Foundation and all that. But whoever does his prep work, that's a good, he got a good person getting him prepped. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, for real. And, you know, people won't admit that. And, you know what I'm saying? Like this, that, and I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to just keep it a buck. I'm going to just keep it 100. I'm going to keep it honest. Because the thing is that whether you like him or not, if you go back and run everything down the line, you know what I'm saying? If you run everything down the line, everything that I'm saying is true. So it don't matter if people like it or not. What matters is if it's true. It's true. You know what I'm saying? It's true. Trump uses a lot of interesting Black language when talking to Black people. Is very, very fascinating. It's very which it is, but it's not, right? Because the thing is that what people got to understand is that a lot of time people who are racist really understand the group of people that they don't like. So it could be a couple different phenomenon. Like Trump might just be that racist that he really knows Black people to a T, or I mean, he might be just trying to get Black votes, or a little bit of both. And if you ask me, I think it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both. You know what I'm saying? But regardless, I find it fascinating that has driven him to be knowledgeable and able to use that knowledge in a way that the Democrats just fall flat on their face with every time. Like it's again, it's a really fascinating phenomenon to watch. So now here it says Brandon Johnson was quick to shoot down Trump's theory. Now here goes the question. How can Brandon Johnson shoot down Trump's theory? And it's not a theory. This is stuff that's been proven. You know what I'm saying? Appearing at the NABJ meeting later that evening, the progressive mayor, who's about to host the Democratic National Convention, sought to tie Chicago's liberal values to Harris's campaign and ripped what he called Trump's attempt to pit marginalized Americans against one another. The only problem is that one set of those marginalized Americans is getting bankrolled, and the other marginalized group of Americans is already poor, and they're paying taxes to marginalize the other group. Bro, he does both. He does both. Trump does his homework and makes up stuff as he goes. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like he does his homework and he makes up stuff as he goes. It's funny. You know, like I said, it's interesting to watch. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm just looking at this over here on the side. Tiffany Henyard still got it going on over there. Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard says administrator fired, trustees okay, handful of layoffs. Like, it's just, Chicago is just, man, anyway. Keep in mind that this is not the only individual who lies, but he does it repeatedly. Johnson said into the crowd, which, I mean, they should have just played some TD Media Group videos, and what we'll find in that is that it's interesting. Brandon Johnson, the way that you're describing Trump It's literally the way that we see you behave in real time. You know what I'm saying? A steady rise in rhetoric. Trump and the Republican Party have been zeroing in on immigration as a chief attack line during the 2024 election, and his Chicago appearance signaled that he will continue with Harris at the top of his ticket. Now, what I find interesting about this situation is that when they talk about the Republicans, they keep talking about things in terms of quote unquote attack lines and attack strategies. Let me ask you guys this. What are the Democrats' attack lines and attack strategies? They don't even talk in terms of the Democrats like they're, fighting to win the election. When it comes to the negative language and talking about fighting and attacking and stuff like that, they only talk about the Republicans like that. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, like you could tell when they do it like that, they're doing it like that in order to try to run a narrative instead of trying to give people facts. Shout out to Win, Lose, or Rug. What's good with you, bro? You know what I'm saying? And real quick, shout out to everybody watching. I really appreciate you guys. We got 44 people watching and we got 62 likes. I know we can get to that 80. If you guys have not smashed that like button yet, please take a moment, smash that like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, take a moment, subscribe, hit that bell. If you guys have done both already, make sure that you guys throw some flames and some thumbs up in the chat. And remember, at the end of the stream, don't move a muscle. It'll take you right into the next stream, and it's going to be starting at 11:55. All right. So now here it says a June, not 11:55, but 12:55. The June debate between Biden and Trump featured the latter's rollout of the line that migrants were taking black jobs. And again, we got to have a discussion about that because this is stuff that's been proven, but for whatever reason, the mainstream media will not acknowledge it. They keep calling it misinformation. They keep trying to shrink and suffocate our platforms. My bad, Win, Lose, or Rug. I just happened to look over and I seen you there. I was like, oh, man, I can't remember if I said it was good to Win, Lose, or Rug or not. So now here it says, pressed in his Chicago interview with 3 reporters to define the term, he responded, a black job is anybody that has a job. Last month's Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, Trump reiterated a vow to carry out mass deportations and sounded the alarm on high-profile cases of women allegedly deleted by immigrants. And it's not allegedly. It's not allegedly. Like, we literally look. We literally just watched how many stories about this, and they're still sitting here saying allegedly. They still sitting up here saying allegedly. Let me ask you guys this. Out of all those things that we watched, what out of those was alleged? This is what I'm saying. Like, man, in 2024, facts don't even matter. It don't even matter. We got 3 hours worth of content just in this one video alone that substantiates that this isn't alleged. This is real. These are actual phenomenon that take place and happen. But here in the Chicago Tribune, they're calling it alleged. Yeah. Shout out to Win, Lose, or Rug. If you guys agree with Win, Lose, or Rug, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Win, Lose, or Rug said, I was thinking earlier, are the Dems doing everything they accuse the Republicans of doing? I would say yes, they are. Absolutely. They weaponize the justice system. They're a threat to democracy. They've taken, listen, the Dems have not only taken out Trump, but they took out Biden. You know what I'm saying? Like the Dems, they do a lot. They do a lot. And didn't say that other people do it. You know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, we know that there's establishment and, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they all work together. But the most visible of the people that make the most noise and do this stuff, in my opinion, clearly the Dems. Clearly the Dems. I'm with you. If you guys think that the writer needs to be fired like Hurricane does, throw some flames in the chat. Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't disagree with you. I wouldn't disagree with you at all. You know what I'm saying? His surrogates also spread conspiracies about widespread illegal voting by non-citizens in elections, which Trump repeated without evidence this week at the NABJ event. And again, they keep saying stuff about black people without no evidence too, though. All these media outlets that keep like going against like certain things that Trump keeps saying, They keep attempting to make these points, but they making the points without no evidence too, though. Okay. Amisha Cross, a Chicago-based Democrat political strategist who was in the audience during Trump's panel, said she believes he was only using Black Americans as pawns to rile up his base. And I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but as a Democrat strategist, you're really calling somebody else out for using Black people as pawns when literally that's been the one trick of that pony for the last 60 years. Are you serious? Are you serious? This was never a pitch to Black people. It was more of a pitch to white people who love that messaging, Cross said. Because when he pitches and has these conversations, he's never having them with Black people. He's talking about Black people to white people. I would say that he's doing that I would say that he's doing that when he's around white people. When he shows up where he's the only white person to a Black event, which he's done. You know what I'm saying? Like he pulled up in there by himself, walked out to the rap music. You know what I'm saying? I would say in that instance, I don't know if he's making a pitch to Black people, right? I don't think he's offering Black people anything, but I do think that when he's in the presence of Black people, he is indeed talking to them. Offering a pitch and talking to somebody is completely different. Nobody's pitching anything to Black people, but I think when Trump show up, he is talking to the people that he's there talking to. The Democrats don't even do that. They had the whole conversation on the news talking about Black people and didn't even have no Black person there. You know what I'm saying? They invited the man to the thing and then said, "Why are you here?" Like this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says at the same time, the RNC gave Corey Brooks, a Black pastor from Chicago, a closing prayer slot on the second day of its convention as part of a wider strategy to increase the visibility of African-American conservatives. Recent polling, I'll tell you what they need to do. If the Republicans want to try to actually, this is what the Republicans need to do. Republicans need to denounce their conservatives. You need to denounce your conservatives. You can't have a bunch of Black people running around like racist white people and expect everybody to want to come to the party. For one, that's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? You can keep Charlie Kirk because I expect Charlie Kirk to act like that. You're not going to convince me to join a party with Officer Tatum and Candace Owens there. You're not going to do that. You got to get rid of them. I expect the majority of white people to be on Charlie Kirk time. If you're recruiting Black people who are nothing but racist white people wrapped in Black skin, I'm good, because that's effectively what you're looking for in me, and I'm not that. So you got to get rid of that. Then something else that you got to do is you got to get normal Black people, normal Black conservatives. You got to get normal Black dudes that lean to the right. You don't come at me with no Officer Tatum. Don't come at me with none of them type of people. You got to get a TD Media Group. You got to get a Maj Toure. You know what I'm saying? You got to get Hotep Jesus. You got to get them type of dudes, and you got to get them type of dudes more in the forefront. You want to come at me with somebody like Officer Tatum or somebody like a Candace Owens? Nah, nope, I'm good. Come at me with a Maj Toure. Okay, what you got? Come at me with a TD Media Group. Okay, what you got? Come at me with a Hotep Jesus. All right, let's chop it up. I come at me with an Officer Tatum. Nah, I'm slamming the door in your face, bro. And you lucky I don't, you know what I'm saying? You lucky I don't do something to you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the conservatives will cost Trump votes. Facts. So the first thing they got to do, y'all got to get rid of them coons, man. Y'all got to do that. That's the first thing that you got to do. I don't even care about the white people, because the white people are white peopling, and I don't expect them to be no different than what they present as. You like asking to change a culture, like asking these right-wing white people to not be racist is like literally you trying to train a cat to learn how to bark. That don't make any sense. Nobody's gonna do that. It's not gonna happen. But if you're trying to get some mind-controlled Black people to convince me that mind control is the way, nah, I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I'm good on that. Shout out to Janesta. What's good with you, Janesta? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I gotta agree. Shout out to Hurricane IQ. And again, I'm still not going to, I'm not going to be conservative. I'll never be conservative, but I'll be more likely to hear you out and be more likely to be conservative on certain issues if the communication is like that. You come at me with some Candace Owens, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, nope. Come at me with Officer Tatum, nope. Goodbye. We're going to have problems instantly. Get that dude out of my face. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Hurricane IQ. Hurricane IQ said, agreed. The Larry Elders, the Thomas Sowells, the Fakums, and the Candaces cannot be our representatives in that party. Yeah, you got to get some actual black people that's actual black conservatives. Not like being a coon and being a black conservative. Those things are not synonymous. You know what I'm saying? It's conservative white people who are actually making them synonymous. Conservative white people, they don't elevate real black conservatives. Ain't no white conservatives making no concerted effort to try to make TD hip hop media great. Ain't no white conservatives trying to make no concerted effort to try to make Hotep Jesus great or Maj Touré great. Matter of fact, Matt Walsh came at Maj Touré crazy when Maj Touré was talking about black history. So you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to pay attention to stuff like that. They're not really as accepting of quote unquote black conservatives as they really are. They're accepting of coons and like I've always said, coons and black conservatives are not the same thing. They can be in the same package, but they're not always the same thing. They're separate entities. Now, them separate entities can both exist in the same individual, but they can exist in the same individual. Not they always do. You know what I'm saying? It's a big difference between a Maj Touré and an Officer Tatum, or a Maj Touré and a Greg Foreman. You know what I'm saying? You guys remember on Fox News the one time when Laura Ingraham had that black conservative call in, and he was like, well, you know what I'm saying? Like, I agree with that point. And you know what I'm saying? I think it should be more black businesses. And Laura Ingraham was like, oh, you're talking about segregation. Like, no, black businesses doesn't mean segregation. And if y'all have such a problem with segregation, how come the Fox News crowd is not going around trying to integrate Chinatown? They're not trying to integrate like Little Mexico or Spanish Harlem. They only call it segregation. You know what I'm saying? When it's some black people doing it, they don't call Germantown segregation. They don't call Little Italy segregation. Why don't they do that? Why is there a rolling double standard? Why is it that everybody's brain melts and oozes out of their ears and all common sense flies out the window when it comes to dealing with things with black people? What is wrong with people? We have to just look at people and understand their incapabilities, shake our heads, and keep on moving with what we're moving with. It's not our fault that everybody else is not as advanced. It's not our fault. We don't owe them nothing. You know what I'm saying? We don't owe you anything. The same way when you in algebra, if you're not hip to understanding how to solve equations, hey, everybody else that do, they're gonna pass the class, but don't nobody owe you anything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they celebrated when the white part of Baton Rouge broke off from the city, and they'll do the same if Buckhead does that in Atlanta, in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they don't say that about Crown Heights. You know what I'm saying? So it's just interesting to pay close attention to those things and the double standards that they got. Those double standards are very revealing. Those double standards are meant to try to get you to self-program devaluating yourself, and do not devaluate yourself. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says recent polling has shown that Democrat Party's support among black voters, while still an overwhelming majority, was slipping before Biden dropped out of the race, posing an issue in several swing states. That erosion was especially pronounced for younger black voters, who some experts posit felt dissatisfied by both parties. Yeah, I mean, I think black people have a legitimate gripe to feel betrayed by both parties? I don't know. Maybe because both parties betray us. Neither party works for us. You know what I'm saying? Neither party works for us. So if neither party works for us, then why should they get paid? Why should we pay them with a vote? If you don't, they sit there and tell us all the time we don't deserve handouts, despite the fact that none of us asked for handouts. But if you don't work, why do you think you deserve to get paid? Let's answer that. Let's get that discussion on the table. Now look at Chicago's asylum seeker mission here. This is absurd. You know what? You know what we're about to do? What we're about to do is we're going to end up doing another episode of Undocumented Bros. We're going to end up doing another episode of Undocumented Bros. And what we're going to do is we're going to start that episode with that article. We're going to finish that article, and then we're going to go into some other things. Because they sound crazy. You know what I'm saying? They sound crazy. They should get facts. If y'all agree with DC Precise, put some boots in the chat. They should get dealt with like they owe me $350. Facts. They should get dealt with like they owe me $350. Facts. Big facts. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. So shout out to everybody that joined the Discord. That's what's up, man. Make sure y'all join the Discord if you're watching on the replay. Shout out to the members. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the replay gang. Always able to watch the replays on Rumble. If they yellow dollar sign it, you know what I'm saying? Only the members can watch. We got a ton of members. You know what I'm saying? We need more. So become a member. It's cheap. It's only 99 cents. You don't have to be no special tier. None of that. You know what I'm saying? Or you can join Patreon. You'll be able to watch on Patreon. You know what I'm saying? Help us out. The more we get with that, the more I'm able to do. Like I said, y'all been killing it. So you see what I'm able to do for y'all. You know what I'm saying? If you know what I'm saying, we move in the right way, which we are. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate y'all. I want to shout out everybody that contributed to the stream. You guys are vital. You guys are the lifeblood of this channel. Make sure y'all show them some love and respect. Shout out to my man DSB. Shout out to Kirk. Shout out to Kirk again. Shout out to my man Gone for Milk. Shout out to Gone for Milk again. Shout out to my man AB Promotions. Definitely appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Shatera. Appreciate it. Shout out to my man Patrick Tyler. Definitely appreciate it, bro. Shout out to Black Spider. Black Spider always holding us down. Make sure y'all show her some love. Shout out to my man TD Media Group. Make sure if y'all not subscribed to my man TD Media Group, he just crossed 100,000 subs. That's what's up. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all go and show him some love. We got to get him to 200,000 now. Shout out to my man Jay Bird, OG of the channel. Definitely appreciate you, bro. Make sure y'all don't go anywhere. Stay right here. It'll take you right into the next live stream. Hit the like button when you go over there. Hit the bell on the premiere window. All right, and drop a comment if you would be so kind. Shout out to my man Hurricane IQ with the buzzer beater. I definitely appreciate you, bro.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
Definitely appreciate it. Shout out to my man DC Precise. I appreciate you, bro. Make sure y'all show DC Precise some love. Make sure y'all treat him right, y'all will. Make sure y'all treat him right. You know what I'm saying?
This is the hardest record out. Silence. I ain't got no money, pal.
Definitely appreciate it, bro. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,
walk up in the life. Yeah, I'm really talking my shit like I'm really him. Hold up, look, walking this bitch like, hey. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, hey. I'm really him. Don't believe me, come and see me. Got 3 wishes from my genie. Now I'm on your local TV. Y'all on tour, got demons. Say she wanna come and see me when I'm in a local city. I'm like, pause though. Please step aside so they can see me. And I walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him, on God. Walk up in this light.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo.
Know me from the street, flexing for a feature, that's like every other week. Talk behind my back, I kick my feet up, have a seat, cause at the end of the day, all these watching me as I walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him, on God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him, on God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him, hold up. Look, walking this light. Hey. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, hey. I'm really him, hold up.